Tonight's guest is part 2 with Stan Schumlick. From the Untold Radio Network, it's Untold Radio AM with MonsterQuest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello, everyone. Where did Doug go?
There He's there. He's here. He wouldn't believe what just happened.
What's that?
I could say, it's going to be a good show. Do you hear this? Okay, now my Siri's going off. I gotta move my phone. It's like I knew everything was gonna go crazy. My notes just went push, all my show notes.
Oh, great.
Just went push, gone. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I've never seen an email just go push.
Yeah, we've had just some weird tech glitches. It just never ends.
But it did it, and I watched it happen. I wasn't even touching my computer.
Weird.
So I'm thinking, well, that's kind of weird. So I don't even have any show notes. So I'm going to have to go.
Is it weird and fast or just weird?
It's just weird. So anyhow, welcome everybody. Tonight is our so-called Christmas show, right?
Yeah.
So-called.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. It's been a crazy day. I haven't
me too.
I've been up early. Actually, when I say been up early, I only went to bed for an hour. I worked all through the night. Went to bed maybe at 8 this morning.
Jeez.
Slept for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I couldn't even sleep. Got up again, had breakfast. Everybody says that, but I'm still here.
Yeah, if it works for you, it works, I guess.
All my friends are dying all around me.
No.
I'm still here. They all got 8 hours every night.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But anyhow, it's just been nuts. I've been booking all day here. And today's Sunday. Nobody's supposed to work on Sunday.
No. I've worked Sundays most of my adult life, though. It kind of stinks.
Yeah. So did my dad.
Yeah.
We just had to, to get ahead, make ends meet. But tonight we have part 2 with Stan Schumlick.
Yep.
And we barely scratched the surface.
Yeah,
and
he's got a lot to talk about. It's great.
Yeah. I was talking to him off camera. And I went, oh my God, we got so much. We got to bring you back. We were on the phone for like 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Talking about new stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Guy.
The guy's been around the world and back. So we're going to do that. We've got clips, little, what do you call it? Not a contest trivia?
Not a contest. No.
I thought we would not give away a T-shirt.
Probably shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't do that. So we won't.
It's not a contest. Not a prize.
But we'll ship one, but we won't give it away.
Right. You'll just send an empty box that may or may not have something in it.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So we'll do that. What else?
Schrodinger's box.
We got weird and fast news.
Got weird and fast news. Got fact of the week. Got clips.
And I'm going to disappear for 2 seconds because I've got to go get my show notes, or I won't even be able to follow along.
All right. So they got to look at me for 2 seconds.
Yeah, it won't take too long. I'll try to keep it under 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Gosh, this is so weird, Jeff. I've never had that happen. It's like somebody went into my computer and closed it.
Well, in the meantime, while you step away, somebody in chat asked me a good question. I'll do my best to answer it. How's that sound?
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay, chat friends, ask me a good question. What do you got for me tonight? Anyone? Looks like Minxie's having having some issues with her cat. Let's see here. Who else is out here today? We got Roger. We got Kenny Hess, Kentucky Bigfoot, Squatch Mama's out there. Who else is out there for friends? Somebody asked me a good question. Yeah, Minxie, I've been in the restaurant business for an awful long time. So yeah, I worked work nights and weekends most of my life. Now my new gig, I don't have to so much, but yeah, I did a lot of nights and weekends. Yeah, Roger too. All right. What else can we talk about? Somebody asked me a question. Does anybody have a good question for me? Who else is out there? Loretta. Hi, Loretta. Is Brendan out there? I haven't seen him yet. Mary Jo's out there. Say hi to Sharon, Slyfox, Tyler. There he is. Just saying hi to everybody out there.
Yes, please.
And now you're back.
I'm back, but I don't have my show notes open yet. Oh,
would you like me to email them back to you? With that?
No, I've got them now.
Okay.
That was just bizarre. Anyhow.
Are we ready for some weird and fast news?
I think so. I am looking. Yeah, I think we're ready. It's fast and weird.
Fast and weird? Okay.
We'll change it.
It's going to get weird pretty fast. Here we go.
Okay.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
And boy, we've got some really weird, weird news. I don't know if it'll be fast, but we'll try. So there was a completely new species of shrimp discovered. It's called the armored shrimp. This thing's creepy looking. I don't know if I'd want to eat it. So these have, it's got like shields like an armadillo. So it rolls up in a ball to protect itself.
Interesting.
And so apparently, hang on here. Gosh, everything's just going crazy over here. What in the world? I think that
Gremlins.
I've got them. They're visiting. So marine biologists exploring the deep continental shelf discovered a new crustacean species with hard ridged armor plates, shaped like overlapping shields. Unlike most shrimp, this one folds into a tight ball when threatened. So it's more like an armadillo than a crustacean. The creature was filmed at over 3,000 feet. And of course, you can see that's actual footage right there.
That's an actual photograph, yeah.
Yeah, you can see. So apparently this thing, it lives deep and it lives near active cold seep-rich methane.
Oh, interesting.
So it lives on methane gas, the same stuff that people expel.
Produce.
Yeah, it's called starts with an F.
Yeah.
Researchers believe the strange armor evolved to protect the shrimp, from predators and harsh chemicals. So it's a very, very high pressure environment at 3,000 feet. You can only imagine. The species hasn't even been officially named yet, but early observations suggest It lives in a tightly clustered groups of these things like pill bugs.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that they would probably taste the same as shrimp, would they?
I don't know. Do they stay crunchy in milk? Probably.
Or would they taste like farts because they live next to methane gas?
You put enough butter on them, melted butter on them, everything tastes good, I suppose.
Yeah, and you
right?
could dip them deep into your cocktail sauce since they live so deep. Anyhow.
Yeah, and get right to the bottom.
Yeah. Anyhow, next. Oh, no. Look at these cute little dudes. So these are, this is true. These things were 24,000 years old and they brought them back to life.
Wow.
So I want you to think about that. What could go wrong when you start bringing back 24,000-year-old life?
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah. So apparently they just sprung back to life and they thaw them out. Let's go ahead and read this. It says Russian scientists made headlines by reviving microscopic rotifers preserved in Siberian permafrost. And they've been preserved for roughly 24,000 years.
It's crazy.
These tiny multicellular, they call them wheel animals, even though they don't. They look like tubes or like this, like kind of like microscopic tardigrades.
Right.
If you know what the water bear.
I do, yeah.
It says that these things were found in what they call a
Cryptobiotic.
Cryptobiotic, yeah, there you go. Cryptobiotic state. Usually suspended animation and began normal activity, including immediate asexual reproduction once they thawed.
Oh,
they just went right into
breeding. That's not bad at all.
24,000 years and just bam, they're horny.
Wow.
So think about that. So apparently this advances cryobiology research showing that cellular functions can resume after millennia. So apparently there's hope for Walt Disney now. They froze it, right?
If that's even true. Is that true?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Who knows?
So I just thought it was just funny that they start, reproducing right away.
Yeah, well, I suppose after a nap that long, it'd probably be pretty high on my list of things to do.
A little horny after 24,000 years. So scientists hope to study these extremophiles, and it could eventually inform long-term space travel biology and insights into survivability beyond Earth.
Interesting.
So these are some tough little rotifers.
Yeah.
Watching out zombies.
Cool.
I'm still shocked by 24,000 years. I mean, I'm impressed if they can go a year.
Yeah, it's crazy that you can survive that.
Yeah, I think it's really crazy. And then we have another interesting piece of news. AI now has been trained to decode dreams from brain activity, and they call the early results promising. So apparently AI can tell what you're dreaming and know exactly what you're dreaming.
I'm not sure that's a great idea.
Well, either. It says AI researchers use multifunctional MIR scans combined with machine learning models to reconstruct vague imaginary subjects that vague imagery subjects saw in their dreams while sleeping. Volunteers napped inside scammers while neural activity took place. Patterns were then compared to massive image data sets. The AI matched dreamy imagery themes with surprising accuracy. So it won't be long before you're having a naughty dream and your wife's watching it on a monitor and she's going, what the hell?
Yeah, that's all we need.
It sounds like it's coming.
What could go wrong?
It says your dreams may soon be bingeable. Like you could watch your own dreams.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Weird.
Be very weird.
Like you just go in and go, chat, show me what I dreamed last night, and it plays a movie.
Yeah, that's wild.
Ooh, creepy.
Speaking of creepy,
what?
The next one.
Yeah, the next one is really, really creepy. In fact, you may not want to even look at the picture we've got up. So scientists grow tiny human brain tissue that starts to develop eye-like structures. And I'm like, whoa.
That's not creepy at all.
No, it's not at all. So a research team studying brain organoids. We all know what that organoids is.
Sure.
Yeah, right. Tiny lab-grown bundles of human neural tissue reported that several of the samples spontaneously developed tiny light-detecting optic cups. They're not full eyes yet, but they resemble early fetal eye cells and even show neural responses to light exposure.
That's crazy.
The tissue wasn't genetically modified. They just formed naturally as organoids matured in the controlled lab conditions. God knows what goes on in these labs. This raises huge questions about sensory and cognitive potential of lab-grown neural structures. If organoids can develop primitive sight, what comes next? I don't want to know.
I think it's best we don't do that anymore.
Oh, God, what could go wrong? What could go wrong?
And that's the stuff we hear. I always think about, imagine the things are going on that we never
Oh,
hear
that's what I
about.
mean. Yeah. This stuff you're hearing about is stuff that probably happened 10 years ago.
Right,
And they're just
or more.
now
Tip of the
releasing
iceberg.
it. Yeah. So I can imagine these labs and all these things are keeping an eye on them, right?
I don't want to know what's going on.
I don't either.
I'll tell you that.
And then it was a good year for biologists as 70 new species were revealed, all the way from new dinosaurs to tiny flies. So there's hope for Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
Scientists at the American Museum of Natural History, which I've been. Have you been there, Jeff?
I have not.
I've been in all the back rooms.
Oh, cool. No, I'd love to do that.
There. Yeah. It helps to know somebody there.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Okay. Although Joey, I told him to park in this spot. He goes, "Oh, you'll be fine. Just park there." So he parked there and came out and he had a traffic ticket. And I'm like, you're never coming back to New York. Tear it up.
Bad idea.
He's got a warrant out for his arrest in New York.
Oh, that's not good. What he gets for listening to you, I guess, right?
Yes, that's back in my wilder days. Oh, God. He still bugs me about I still have a warrant out for my arrest in New York because of that parking ticket.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It says scientists at the American Museum of Natural History announced the identification of over 70 new to science species in 2025, ranging from minute fruit flies to bizarre jaw-like structures to feathered dinosaurs and odd marine invertebrates. Many of these weren't discovered in the field. They were hiding in museum collections, waiting decades for new analysis and new techniques. And there's
many more.
From what I saw there, there's going to be a lot of this.
Yeah.
Where they're going to actually go in and go, you know what? You remember that blue beetle we had there in that jar? That could be a new species.
I bet there's tons and tons more
there is.
all around the world.
And the Smithsonian's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Hold on here, man. My computer, I swear to God, this is just driving me nuts.
More gremlins?
No, it's okay. It's little gremlins. It says these discoveries span an incredible range of life forms, including new mammals, reptiles, fish, arachnids, and even previously known minerals. The finding reminds researchers, and I remind all of you listening, that Earth's biodiversity is still very far from fully understood, even with creatures of scientific cataloging behind us, or centuries of scientific cataloging behind us. And that's so true.
I guarantee there's animals that have been identified and labeled with less evidence than Bigfoot.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah.
I mean, we've had dinosaurs that are classified just by footprints. I mean, with almost no information on them.
I tell people we're one turd away from
we are
getting Bigfoot documented. Okay, the next is a This is kind of interesting. You know, I always talk about squid and octopus being alien-like creatures.
They're crazy.
So now they're decided they're going to start doing full genome sequencing on these cephalopods. So scientists have successfully decoded a full genome of the elusive vampire squid. And I'm not going to pronounce the Latin name. Revealing an enormous 11 billion base pairs. That's a lot of DNA.
That's crazy.
The DNA sequence is nearly 4 times larger than that of many other octopus species. This rare deep-sea animal, often dubbed as a living fossil, has an evolutionary lineage that diverged early from other cephalopods, making its genome uniquely valuable for understanding how squid and octopus ancestors evolved or dropped out of the sky.
Yeah.
One of the two.
They're amazing. A vampire squid is a pretty
it's so
bizarre animal, too.
Yeah, they really are. As says, because the vampire squids are hard to collect, the sequencing achievement is a major milestone in marine biology and evolutionary genetics. And I don't even think they're from Earth.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's something weird going on there for sure.
That genome's bigger than your phone bill.
Yeah.
All right, next, elephant poop.
Everyone's favorite subject.
Since I was talking about Bigfoot poop, elephant poop helps grow guitar wood.
Interesting.
How would that be? Researchers highlighted a bizarre link between African elephant. Did I say elephant? I meant elephants and ebony trees, which provide prized wood for guitars and piano keys. Elephants eat the fruit of ebony trees and disperse seeds through their poop across the forest floor. Areas where elephants have been hunted to extinction show far fewer ebony saplings. So there's far few trees there. Well, I mean, once again, we all know that they're eating seeds and dispersing them in their little piles of fertilizer. Mm-hmm. Apparently but they're measuring the effects, the tangibility effects. And it says, without elephant seed dispersal, wood that adore many instruments could become scarcer. Connecting wildlife conservation to cultural artifacts like music is important. So there you go.
Poop makes the world go round.
Who would ever think you'd be playing a guitar and be thinking about elephant poop? But that's it. Everything's interconnected, right?
Yeah. Poop makes the world go around.
Yeah, it does. All right, now we'll just jump right into our weird fact of the week, and it's a weird one.
Weird fact of the week.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
That was your favorite bumper, Jeff.
I like that bumper.
I know you do. Your brain generates enough electricity now, they've proven, to power a light bulb.
Wow.
That's kind of a weird deal.
Yeah.
I've got mine hooked up to my brain
I have a feeling some people's brains put out more than others.
Yes, I think you're very, very correct on that.
Some are very low wattage.
Yes. Researchers have measured that the human brain now produces 20 watts. It's actually a lot of electrical power when awake. Roughly the same wattage as small LED bulbs. The electricity comes from electrochemical signaling between neurons. So it's not like that galvanic effect between like two different types of metals and acid. It's completely generated by neurons. So it's a whole different kind of chemistry, which is interesting. But a 20 watt light, I mean, that would charge your e-bike, Jeff.
Yeah, that's
enough to charge your e-bike. I'll be over with a harness later. Okay. I would imagine, though, somebody's going to come up with some way to start, like, having little things that you can, like, put a cap on and hook it up to something.
Sure. Charge your cell phone with your brain. Why not?
Well, when somebody you'd say, "Oh, you're a bright guy. You're a bright boy." They really meant it.
I guess so. That's crazy.
That's all correct. So apparently each thought sensation, each memory and emotion is powered by millions of tiny electrical impulses firing every second. The brain does not operate like a battery producing galvanic current, but it's rather a bioelectric generation process.
Cool. That's interesting.
Not galvanic. So there you go.
That's a weird fact.
Yeah, you could run your Christmas lights if you think hard enough.
Nope, they didn't come on.
Yeah. All right, we'll jump in. I see we have the very, very brilliant Stan Schumlick in the back room. I see we also have a very strange person in the background, too. Do you see that strange?
An undisclosed guest.
Yeah, undisclosed guest might be popping in here. We might end up with actually 2 undisclosed guests.
Yeah.
It's something to do with Christmas is all I know. So stay tuned.
We'll see.
Stay tuned. Okay, clip 1. You want to go into the
wait a second now. We
What?
can't do clips unless I play the clip bumper.
Well, no, go ahead. I'm waiting.
All right, let's see here. Clip
Notice
1.
Notice I got you full screen.
Thanks.
Yeah, the director did that, not me.
All right, let's pull up. Hold on.
What do you got to pull up?
Here we go. The clips.
Oh, clip
There we go.
1. Sound is good. These are just 2 ravens. Definitely my favorite birds. I've actually studied raisins. Did I say raisins?
You did say ravens.
Ravens a lot up in the Ely area. When I was filming Brother Wolf, I got really addicted to filming ravens.
They're
really
unbelievably smart.
They're unbelievable. Their vocalizations. And there was a guy in town that had a raven he would drive 10 miles to come to town. The raven would fly above his car, meet him at town, and they would all these ravens would be talking to each other about the guy.
Wow.
It was really interesting. But I used to watch ravens interact with wolves.
Oh, interesting.
I could tell you a lot of really weird stories with ravens and wolves. But anyhow, I won't get into that. But go ahead and play the clip. Sounds good. Now notice their white eye blink. That's also one way they communicate, through Morse code.
That's cool.
Yeah, that sound is it's amazing. But they say now ravens are as smart or not smarter than chimps.
I believe it. They're smart birds. I've seen videos of them doing crazy stuff, problem solving and manipulating tools.
They do a lot of aerial reconnaissance for wolves. That's pretty much been proven. I mean, I've even observed it firsthand. They also have a relationship with wolves, like the wolves will open up a deer carcass that they help find, and then the wolves will back off and let the ravens feed.
That's crazy.
And then the ravens will come up and to show their superiority. They'll come up and jerk the wolf tails to just tease them. So they love teasing the wolf.
That's so cool. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So anyhow,
that's wild.
Clip 2. All right, moving on. Clip
2.
Sound is good. This is about how big is big and how small is small. Go ahead and play it.
I've always wondered, are we closer in size to the smallest thing in the universe or the largest? If you zoom into any object past atoms, past nuclei, even beyond quarks, you eventually hit the absolute limit. The Planck length. Nothing can be smaller than this. That's 10 to the power minus 35 meters. So what about the biggest? Zoom out from Earth, past the solar system, past the Milky Way and our local cluster. And eventually, you reach the edge of the observable universe, a staggering 90 billion light-years across. But the truth behind that question will flip your understanding of the universe on its head. We are 400 million times closer in size to the entire observable universe than to the smallest scale of quantum physics. The quantum world isn't just small, it's beyond imagination.
Wow. Your mic is off, Doug.
No, it's not.
Oh, there you are.
Just watching you sweat bullets.
Don't do that.
Anyway, I personally do not believe that small ever ends.
I agree. I don't think that's
they say,
true.
well,
How could we know that?
What the hell is the plank made out of?
Yeah.
It's got to just keep going on and on
Yeah.
and on. It can't end. And large cannot end. It cannot. It literally, we would cease to exist if it did.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to imagine. All right. I thought that clip was cool, though. Makes you
I
think.
agree.
All right. Clip 3. Sound is good. This is pretty amazing. But even literally anybody can do these experiments. But what we're going to end up at is where light photons can lift and lock small particles that you can make. I mean, these are bigger particles. Light will lift them and hold them. Watch this video.
You can see that when I put this ball in water, the water sticks to the surface of the ball and causes the water to change directions and shoot the other way. And the result of that change direction is that the ball is forced towards the center of the water. It's forced into the water. Now, this same thing actually happens with a particle when it's in a light beam. So if you want to lock it in place in 3 dimensions, then all you do is you focus that beam down to a center point. Now, what we need to do is to be able to generate a particle right near that focal point of light that's small enough that can be pulled inside of it. In order to do that, I'm just going to be using a Bic marker here. Oh, right there. Got one. I got one. No way. Look, we got it. Don't move. It's caught in there. The particle's actually floating in the air with light. So it's actually trapped in the laser beam here. You can see that bright spot right in front of it. That is amazing. It actually worked.
Wow, that's really cool.
So photons work just like water.
Yeah.
Same thing.
That's really neat.
And that's not like some big expensive experiment.
Right.
I mean, you could try that tonight, Jeff.
I could. I probably won't, but I could.
Yeah, you probably won't. No, you probably won't. You might have something better to do. Anyhow, well, we did it for you, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
All right.
We're here for you.
The next one, clip 4. The sound is good. Now, don't play it yet.
Okay.
This agility it's a given. You're going to see some amazing agility, but I want you to now scale it up to Bigfoot size. This is exactly what people report. So just think about this as a 8-foot tall gibbon, okay? And I'll go ahead and play it. And people go, well, I didn't find the footprint.
And it's not even working hard. It's just kind of tooling around.
It's just, they're so amazing.
Yeah, it's not even breaking.
They're not really that small of a primate either. I mean, a gibbon can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just scale that up to about 8 foot and you'll understand what a Bigfoot probably does.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. The next thing is really, really fascinating. It's clip 5. The sound is good. So the question is, can air bubbles, simply just air bubbles, produce light? So go ahead and play it.
The more I learn about this, the crazier I feel. Sometimes bubbles can produce light and scientists aren't sure why. It has the nickname star in a jar because the light produced is hotter than the surface of the sun. But there is also a kind of shrimp that can use it as a weapon. It all starts with a cavitation bubble. You've definitely seen this before, like on a boat propeller, for example, or on an ultrasonic cleaner, like for jewelry or glasses. These work because the sound waves causes the water to tear itself apart and form cavitation bubbles. And then suddenly the water collapses back upon itself and briefly creates these environments of unbelievably high pressure and temperature. That is what cleans off your jewelry in an ultrasonic cleaner. That is also what certain shrimp use to stun their prey. And under the right conditions, these bubbles can spontaneously produce light. And scientists are not exactly sure why. There have been all kinds of theories. In the early 2000s, we even briefly thought this might be the key to solving nuclear fusion. And the current dominant theory is that the high pressure and temperature creates plasma that then kicks off radiation, but the specifics of all that are very hotly debated. The thing is, like, at these scales, physics just gets weird, and I can't wait for us to have some better answers.
Interesting.
And, you know, when those bubbles burst or collapse, they create heat that's hotter than the sun.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. A bubble.
Yeah.
So there you go. Let's see here.
Clip 6 did not come through, so we're going to skip to clip 7.
Oh, that's fine. Clip 7. Y'all know I love weird creatures. Do you remember the movie Mr. Limpet? Don Knotts, way back in the...
Oh.
My God, it was probably in the...
I never saw that one.
Early 60s, maybe 1961, 62. It was my first movie I ever saw. But it was based on a fish, a guy that turns into a fish. I highly recommend you watch the movie, Jeff.
Oh, well. Don Knotts was
Anyhow,
great.
this looks like Mr. Limpet. And when I first thought, but this is a real fish. It's called the bug-eyed fish. Go ahead and play it. Tell me that doesn't look like Mr. Limpet.
Wow.
Unreal looking, isn't it?
A weird looking fish.
Yeah, clip 8. Sound is good. This cave is so big in Vietnam. This is real. It's so big in Vietnam. It'll completely blow your mind. It's so big it has its own weather system, even clouds. Go ahead and play it.
In Vietnam, Son Dong Cave is so massive it creates its own climate, complete with drifting clouds, flowing rivers, and a full forest growing deep underground. It's one of Earth's most extraordinary natural wonders.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
I wouldn't mind going there.
No kidding. That'd be cool to see.
I've been in some big caves, but man, I couldn't even fathom that bad boy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, clip 9. You've heard of remoras, right, Jeff?
Sure, yep, absolutely.
They take parasites off fish, including sharks.
Yeah.
But I always thought they had a pretty conventional sucker system.
No,
and
they're pretty wild.
This is going to show you how they attach themselves. Go ahead and play it. Sound should be good. Look at those things. That's kind of mean what he did there.
Yeah.
Just put it on the console of the boat and stick it there and try to peel it off.
Let it go.
You think they would be using that technology for something?
Yeah. It's pretty neat. Yeah, they're
You know, most suckers are like curved or whatever. I think that's it. That's all we had, right?
Yep, that was it.
I'm wondering, let's see, what time is it? Yeah, we're only 4 minutes behind. We're not too bad because of me again.
No comment.
Let's do, it's actually quick, but I really do want to not give away a t-shirt.
No, of course not.
An Untold Radio t-shirt. And I'm thinking it should be something like enough of that crap t-shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
So we might send out a box and it may or may not have something in it.
May or may not.
Probably won't.
Because it's not a contest.
Right. Of course not. Never is.
And there's nothing to win. But if there's anybody in the audience that would like to just do a quick, I think it's only 10 questions, or true and false about Christmas.
Somebody with a good connection who can respond right away.
Yes.
Let's
you
add
don't
that
want to wait.
Qualifier.
All you got to do is type a T or an F. Even if you don't know the answer, type a T and an F. We'll keep score. So, Jeff, who do we got?
I'm keeping score again. Hey, who's in? Looks like we got...
I like this, not a contest.
Looks like we got Vera.
By the way, I was going to mention William, better known as Rusty, or William Robinson, sent me the coolest T-shirt ever.
He sent me one too. Thanks
the
so much
Blues
for
Doctor.
That. Yeah, it's really a cool shirt.
It's really a cool design, and thank you so much, William, for that. Unfortunately, I can't wear it on the podcast. The light wouldn't work on it, but it is Like I should have had it next to me. I could have showed everybody. It's a super cool T-shirt. But thank you, William. Do we have people?
Looks like the first two we got were Virax and
I think Lee.
Lee. Okay, Virax and Lee. Okay.
And William says, "You're welcome. Thank you." Yeah, really, it's
a really cool.
I recommend. Yeah, just go to the Blues Doctor, look it up online on Facebook, and you can order one of these shirts. But it is really a cool design.
Yeah, it's a very nice gift. Thank you again for that.
Yeah, that was very, very nice of you. She was like, "Take a picture." Well, it's upstairs. I already washed it.
Yeah, mine's
maybe next week I'll show it. So let's go.
Okay.
All right. So this is, you wouldn't think you could come up with a hard trivia question on Christmas, but I think this one's pretty hard. All right. First one. Christmas. This is, everything's true or false. Christmas used to be illegal in parts of the U.S. True or false? Now, remember, I'm pretty tricky. I will try to trick you guys.
He will. He's shady. Unreliable source.
So, yeah, you guys should keep score yourself, on yourself on this.
All right. Lee said true. What does Virax say? Virax said false. Lee is right.
Yeah, Lee's got
so 1 point for Lee.
Yeah, so Puritan lawmakers banned it in Massachusetts in the 1600s to stop drunken celebrations. They outlawed Christmas celebrations.
Those dang Puritans. They don't want anybody to have fun.
Yeah. So, okay, the next one. The song Jingle Bells was originally written for Christmas. True or false? The song Jingle Bells was written for Christmas. True or false?
Should I play our music?
Minxie goes, always music? Puritans.
Let's see here.
Oh, yeah.
How's that volume?
Oh, yeah, it's just perfect. Loretta says false. Sly Fox says false. Nick says false. Kenny S says false.
Virax is true.
Virax says true. And what does Lee say?
What does Lee say?
Hughes Martin says false. And the question again, the song Jingle Bells was originally written for Christmas. Where in the heck is Lee? No cheating, Lee. I'm going to count down to 3. They're going to get it. They're even going to. All right, we got to give it. Virax, he's wrong anyhow.
Yeah, so no points. No points awarded.
So what happened to Lee? So the answer is it was written for Thanksgiving. Composer James Pierpoint wrote it for Sunday school Thanksgiving. It was written for a performance in 1857.
Huh. Moving on.
The late Lee goes, I'm on the scroll. Maybe she did it and I didn't see. Jeff, you're supposed to keep track of that. I can't.
Oh, I missed. Oh, okay. You know what?
Yeah.
I did miss that.
Just do it again. If we say something, just type it in again.
So Lee was right. So 2 points for Lee.
All right. Reindeer are the only mammals known to see ultraviolet light. Is that true or false? Reindeer are the only mammals known to see ultraviolet light. Is that true or false?
So Virax says.
I think Lee said
they both said false, and they're both wrong.
Yeah, they're both wrong. It's true. There actually are other animals that see an ultraviolet light, but it hasn't been proven yet. There was a big scientific study on caribou or reindeer, and they proved they could see an UV light. I don't think those studies. I can't find any to verify, but that's what I know. Yeah. So they're the only ones we know for sure that can see in the ultraviolet spectrum, and it helps them detect predators and find food in the Arctic snow glare. All right. True or false? Coca-Cola invented the modern red-suited Santa. Coca-Cola invented the modern red-suited Santa. Is that true or false? Sounds like a simple question.
Yeah, Virax says true. What does Lee say? Lee says true. And again.
See, I told you these are hard. It's false. Coke popularized him globally, but the red suited existed decades earlier in newspapers and other ads. So there you go. Next. I think Lee is still one ahead.
Yeah, 2-0 I've got.
Oh, is it 2 to see?
Yeah.
We never can agree on a score, Jeff.
No.
That's
Well,
why
it's not a contest.
That's why I'm so glad this is not a contest.
Fortunately, it's not a contest.
So that's why it doesn't matter. So it doesn't even matter.
Right.
It's
not a contest. There's no prizes.
Okay. Next one. Medieval peasants sometimes crowned a lord misrule at Christmas. Medieval peasants sometimes crowned a lord of misrule at Christmas. Is that true or false? Do you know what the lord of misrule is, Jeff?
I do not.
Oh, well,
it's a new one for me.
Kind of like you.
Am I?
Lord of misrule.
Okay, whatever that means. I'll take your word for it.
You're about to find out.
All right.
So what do we have? Lisa's true. And what does Verax say? Hey, buttworm.
Verax said false.
So it is true. So who got it right? Lee?
Did Lee get that right?
I think so.
Okay, yep, Lee got it right.
Doesn't really matter. It's not a contest.
So 3 for Lee.
It says a chosen peasant acted as king, and everyone reversed roles for that celebration.
So you're saying I'm a peasant king? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So yeah. It's something like that. I don't know what I'm saying.
Not a contest.
The tallest natural Christmas tree ever recorded was more than 200 feet tall. True or false? The tallest natural Christmas tree ever recorded was more than 200 feet tall. True or false?
Okay, Verax is false. Lee says true.
And the answer is true.
True.
And that is, it was a Douglas fir displayed in Seattle in 1950, measured 221 feet tall.
Wow.
Let's see here. This is a weird one. Some Victorian Christmas cards use creepy or morbid imagery. Some Victorian Christmas cards use creepy or morbid imagery. Is that true or false? Victorian Christmas cards. Did they show creepy or morbid imagery?
Let's see here. Lee says true. Verax says false.
Okay, Lee, you're just screaming.
Lee is running away with it.
Lee got it.
Good thing it's not a contest.
No, it is good it's not a contest.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it says many show dead birds and strange symbolism. Victorians embrace darker holiday themes.
All right.
And if you have scored 10 out of 10, you either love Christmas trivia or you might need to get out more. One of the two. So if you've scored 10 out of 10 on that, you got a problem. And so all we got to do now is just stick around. We're going to go to a really quickie break, and then we're going to bring on our guest and maybe our secret guest.
All right. Where is that? All right. We'll be right back, everyone.
At the Untold Radio Network, Bigfoot doesn't have time to stage fake accidents. He's too busy dodging trail cams and running from campers.
There he is. Come on,
So
quick,
relax.
before he gets away.
Your insurance is safe. Use that free time to binge podcasts that go way deeper than footprints in the mud. The Untold Radio Network has all your favorite shows in one place. Watch or download everywhere great podcasts are found.
I didn't hit you.
The Unfamiliars is a spine-tingling journey into the heart of Appalachian darkness, where every page turn lures you closer to secrets that are as ancient as the mountains themselves. Will Hardy heed the call of destiny and rise to protect the land he loves, or will he succumb to the unfathomable horrors that hunger for his soul? Step into the unknown with the unfamiliars. Embrace yourself for a tale of suspense and the supernatural that will leave you questioning what lurks just beyond the veil of our world. Can you resist the call of the unfamiliars? Author Tiffany Doran does it again in writing a book that you won't put down after reading just the first few pages. This amazing horror novel is available directly from Hangar One Publishing or anywhere great books are found. The unfamiliars are patiently waiting to claw at the edges of your reality.
And we are back, and you're looking at me again, my giant head. There he is.
I'm here. Oh, man. Looks like our guests are there.
Yeah.
We have a secret guest. We're going to bring him on just a little bit.
Yeah.
So hang on, secret guest.
Secret.
It is a secret. So Stan S. I still never asked how to pronounce his name. Is it Shumlick? Nod your head. Yeah, he's like, yeah, Shumlick is known for his work in film, particularly the family genre. He gained recognition for his roles in Casper the Ghost. And the movie was called Casper Meets Wendy, which is obviously a spirited being, right? And he did the movie Spirited Being in 1997. His contributions to these films made him a notable figure in children's entertainment. So beyond his film work, though, details about his personal life and other professional endeavors are less documented.
Undisclosed.
Undisclosed. But he remains a memorable part of the Casper franchise. So he is now working with Ron Moorhead to bring Ron's books to life. I know he's working hard on those. Those will be available pretty soon. I hope on Hangar One Publishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. See how he did that? But he is kind of been thrust into Bigfoot research.
Yeah.
And he to this day, he does what I call the reverse Bigfoot research.
Yeah.
And you'll find out what that means.
Yeah.
When we bring on Stan. So I think we can do that, can't we?
Okay. And right after I bring him on, I have to reboot. I got some issues here, but we'll bring Stan on here first.
Well, I'm glad you're having those issues.
Yeah, it's just never ends. I'm having audio issues, but also I'll reboot. But
okay.
Welcome, Stan. Here he is. Hello.
Howdy, gentlemen.
Hey. I like your background. Black.
Well, you don't want to see the mess that's behind it.
Oh no, I'm sure it's nice. But anyhow, so
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. If I didn't already say it, especially you, Stan. So, do you live alone by any chance?
Well, sorta. I take care of cats.
You take care of cats, okay? Well, anyhow, you're invited over to my house if you want to fly in.
What? Take care of your cats?
No. To join us for Christmas.
Oh.
Anyhow, so okay, let's try to set the table here first. You live in a very Bigfooty area, so let's talk about where the hell you live. You don't have to give us the name of the town or whatever, but tell us about your property and the area around your property.
Well, the big town is Roseburg.
Okay.
And I live way out in the sticks, about a half an hour to Roseburg.
Alone?
Yeah, well, I got cats.
Well, I know you got cats, but they're not going to protect you.
Well, I don't know. Some of them are kind of tough.
Okay. Anyhow, you don't have anybody. If something happens, like a Bigfoot breaks through your window, you have no witnesses. The cats cannot talk.
Well, there's always the camera.
That's true.
I'm not really worried about them breaking in. I really don't think breaking is a requirement for them. From what I'm learning from people like Ron Moorhead and William Morris is that they exist outside of what we would consider normal science.
Yeah. Yes. But okay, so your property is like wooded.
Who's that?
I'm in the valley, so the trees are on the edges and on the hills. It's not far, maybe a quarter mile to where you're suddenly in woods and you step 10 feet off the road and you disappear into the forest.
Yeah, I know. It's just so many people like you that do live on kind of the edge of the wilderness. And I personally have felt those are the hot areas for these creatures because of humanity. It's kind of where the food is. It's where the animals hang out. It's where the turkeys and the grouse and the deer all kind of seem to hang out because everybody feels safer, I think, on the edge. Right on that edge. Do you agree with that or disagree with me, Stan?
Oh, I kind of agree. I like it because it's very quiet.
Yeah.
I used to joke that you could hear flea flatulence at 50 yards.
Yeah. Okay. That's a colorful thing. By the way, we have the cheesiest Santa Claus ever. Is that shaving cream?
No, it's cotton.
Did you glue that on with like glue?
Yeah, thanks, Doug. That's your fault too. It took me about an hour, so hopefully it stays on.
I don't know if they can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Matt?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. Anyhow, this is Matt. Matt decided to play. Matt is also a Bigfoot researcher.
I'm in Washington as well. I'm in
Tacoma. And what state are you in, Stan? Washington.
I'm in Oregon.
Oh, you're in Oregon. Okay.
Oh, Warrensburg. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Well, you guys are still neighbors. Okay. So you hang on, Santa. So, by the way, anytime you have anything you want to say, just say it. Consider yourself a co-host, not a guest.
Okay, real quick. If you guys need a gift, an
hear
easy
Matt.
gift, little Bigfoot feet, man. There's like $10.
And I think I lost everybody.
Okay, Jeff. For some reason, that's weird. Stan cannot hear Matt.
Okay, maybe you have to reboot. Maybe you have to reboot Stan. Can you hear me at all, Stan? Well, I think he's got to reboot. Well, we got Santa here.
Yeah.
I'll send Stan a text here. He's got to
So,
reboot.
anyhow, this is better known as Flat Rockland. And I called Matt up. I go, hey, dude, if anybody's got a Santa hat, you do. He goes, yeah, I should have one up my attic. And I go,
yeah.
I said, well, do you have any cotton? Can you glue some cotton to your face? And so I knew Matt would be the only one in the world that would actually do what I told him.
You know, I tried and I failed, and then I put on a Dogman mask, and Doug said, hell no Dogman. So I tried again. I don't want to let you guys down. So here it is.
Yeah.
I might keep this on all week, actually.
Yeah, you might have to.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Stan?
Yeah, now I got you back.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
When in doubt, reboot.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is that just happens.
Hey,
okay.
Stan.
So, anyhow, Stan, this is Matt. Matt's going to kind of help. He's consider him a host.
Okay.
So it's 3-1?
3-1.
You're the star of the show, though, Stan. It's all good.
You're
guys are ganging up
3-1.
on me already. Look at this.
Yeah. And one of them's got cotton glued to his face. He actually glued it.
Oh, that's
and we
gonna be fun to
we
get
might actually have another guy that used glue too coming on.
It's super glue too, so it's gonna be a rough week.
No,
yeah, I'm kidding.
That might actually hurt.
Hopefully, it's Elmer's glue. Anyhow, okay, back to this.
Back to Stan.
So, obviously, you went from moving out there, and then something happened where you got interested in this topic.
Let's just say this wasn't on my radar. This wasn't something that I was into. I used to laugh when I would see chainsaw carvings of Bigfoot along the side of the highways. I'd go, oh, look, another nifty way the locals take advantage and get those tourist dollars. And so for me, that was actually kind of funny. And I never thought it was real. And then I heard some things, and I can't hear you guys again, so I'm going to have to.
No, we're here.
reboot.
We're here.
No, we're
Okay,
here.
okay.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. So I heard some weird sounds in my driveway in September of 2023. I was taking my trash out to the street, and I heard this really long, strange whistle. And I do live near a winery, and it was after midnight. And so I thought it might be my neighbors sampling some of their own product. And then I thought about it, and I said, wait a minute, these people don't stay up this late, even if they were drinking. They tend to get up before the sun. And so I just thought it was really strange. And a week later, I was taking out the trash again because it's one of those things, I'm getting ready for bed. And then I went, oh, you didn't take the can out. So I went back to take it out, and this time I heard a howl. And it didn't sound like it was a canine. There was distortion and bottom end. Like it was nothing I'd ever heard before.
Like how loud?
It was pretty loud. Not like it was really close. It sounded like it was coming from at least a half a mile away. But it was still loud enough that it made me kind of wonder what this was. So I went and talked to my pastor, whose name is Kevin Lindley, who happens to also research Bigfoot.
Okay.
And he and another member of our church, a guy by the name of Ed, both told me directly that what you heard was a Sasquatch.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, it's not real. It's not true. And they assured me that, yeah, that's what I heard. So Kevin started sending me links to Ron Moorhead's Sierra Sounds. And I listened to a bunch of clips, and I didn't hear anything that sounded like it until I got to the very last file that he sent me. And that's when I heard the exact same whistle. And literally the hair stood up on my arms. I wasn't sure what to make of this. And so I really wasn't into researching. It wasn't something that I was pursuing. And Ed asked me to go out in March to go out Sasquatching. And I was sitting around watching TV and not really doing anything all that important or interesting. And so I agreed to go out with him. And on our first night out, we found what amounts to a small tree structure. And I didn't really think anything of it other than it looked a little strange to me. It looked like somebody had done this on purpose. And so I kind of let it ride. When June rolled around, Kevin was doing a booth at the Glide Sasquatch Festival and asked me if I'd like to come help him. And I figured he needed help with setup and tear down and, crowd control, those kinds of things. And he said, yeah, no, I might have you do a little interviewing from people because you talk to people real easily and they tend to tell you things. And it was at the festival that I met Todd Neese, who was one of the speakers. And we talked about infrasound and the physiological effects it has on the human being. It's basically a certain range of frequencies, and it doesn't matter if it's sound. It can be strobe lights. It can be frame rates in film. And as an animator, there are certain ranges of frame rates that we avoid because it's really bad publicity if your patrons are flopping in the movie aisle. And during our conversation, Todd had invited me to go to Beachfoot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm not a researcher. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything. And he said, well, you know things and have knowledge that we don't have. And so you'd be interesting to come and participate. So we went up to Camp Wilkerson, which is about 40 miles northwest of Portland. And that's where I met Ron Moorhead and, and William Morris.
Well, you met probably a ton of researchers there.
I met all kinds of people, and the thing was I didn't know who anybody was.
And Beachfoot, just to tell you, it's an invite only. You go there, you don't get paid to go there, you don't get paid to speak. It's a prestigious kind of an event, invite only, and a lot of the bigger kind of more, I don't even want to say bigger, people who are well known in the Bigfoot research community are there. So you got thrown right into the thralls of all these researchers.
Doug, am I correct that it's last year might be the last year?
Correct, I believe.
Actually,
so.
This year was the last year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, shoot. That shoots down my hopes and dreams.
Yeah, well, you've now lost all of your dreams, Santa, because of your beard situation.
So is Beachfoot in Oregon? You said Camp Wilkerson?
Camp Wilkerson it's in Oregon. Like I said, it's about 40 miles northwest of Portland. And
all right. I always wondered where it was.
All kinds of people that were luminaries in the Sasquatch research area were there. And like I said, I didn't know who anybody was. What Kevin gave me a list of people. He said, if you run across these people, you should talk to them. And I said, well, what should I talk about? He goes, just be yourself. I'm like, ooh, that could be dangerous. And so we got there, we got signed in, and they were having some technical problems with the audio system. So I kind of walked up and volunteered to troubleshoot and got it fixed pretty quickly. And there was this guy sitting there who had a really cool hat. Notice I got kind of a cool hat. And I sat down and, I was just chatting with him. I mean, I didn't know who anybody was. And after about 15 minutes, I realized I was being rude and hadn't introduced myself. So I said, hi, I'm Stan. And he goes, well, I'm Ron. And I go, as in Moorhead? And he said, yeah. And I went, ooh, you're on my list. I'm supposed to talk to you. And Ron, without missing a beat, says, well, you've been talking to me for 15 minutes already. And we both chuckled about it. And we watched some presentations. And again, I walked around, met some people, got first names, don't know who anybody is, don't know what they've written, don't know that they're experts in certain fields, don't know any of this. So I smoke. So I went out behind the pavilion to have a cigarette, which is where I met William Morris. And he introduced himself as Bill. And talking with him was rather interesting. I'm used to having to explain some of the concepts that I talk about. And with Bill, I didn't have to. He finished some of my sentences, and then he would bring his retort, and I'd finish some of his sentences. It was very bizarre. We talked for 30 minutes before I even knew his name. And we didn't talk about the big hairy people, the forest people, for probably 2 hours of conversation as we sat outside having our smokes, like we were on School Street in high school. And we were laughing about it. And, he was talking about his experiences, and he was so nonchalant about his experiences that it was just really interesting because the other people I talked to, they were really excited about seeing one. They were really excited about doing the research. And Bill's like, oh, yeah, no, I see this all the time. So that really was interesting. And I got to see some great presentations. There was some karaoke on the first night, which was kind of interesting from a distance. I thought for a minute
By the way, you're smoking with Philip Morris. I thought the same thing.
No. I guess I smoked Philip Morris. It's Marlboro.
Well,
but,
it's a coincidence.
Well, the whole thing that got me there was a series of coincidences. And so Beachfoot's 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and, breakfast on Sunday, and everybody packs out and goes home. And so I went back to Roseburg and, excited. I took a bunch of photos. Again, I don't know who anybody is, so I was just taking random photos of the crowd. And Bill had given me his number, so I called him on Monday after we got back, and he happened to be at Trillium Lake doing some research. And for some reason, in a place that doesn't have cell reception, my phone call got through. And because I had a whole ton of questions. Again, I didn't know anything about this. I didn't have any of the details or know anybody's history. So I had just tons of questions, and Bill was really cool about answering them. And so we talked a bit, and I was asked, are you going to Oak Ridge, which was the next weekend? And I had no plans to go to Oak Ridge. It wasn't, again, on my radar, nothing I even knew about. And Thursday of that week, Kevin calls me up. His grandson decided not to go to Oak Ridge. He goes, you want to go to Oak Ridge with me? And I was like, sure. And so I run into Bill. I run into Ron. I met Tobe Johnson. I met Jeremiah Byron. I met the entire crew from A Flash of Beauty. It was interesting. I was joking with Bill. I said, what is this? I'm suddenly hanging out with all the cool kids.
Yeah, you met some great people.
I don't know who anybody is yet. And I got asked, are you somebody we should know? And I'm like, no, there's absolutely no reason you should know me for anything, actually. Again, not something that was on my radar, not something that I'd planned to do, not something that I even had a passing interest in. I just suddenly found myself in the middle.
Okay, but let's stop there and go back to what in the hell is going on at your house and in your research area. So obviously this must have been sort of ongoing little activities, little things.
Well, you kind of got to pay attention with the forest people. They are very subtle. They're also, they can be quite overt, but
so it's subtle. Again, is it subtle like Matt's beard?
Well, there's just like some interesting things. Like I've been left gifts. They will move stuff that's in my yard. They'll change its orientation by rotating it. I really don't know. And all of this started after I had a sighting. It was at Oak Ridge that I was chatting with Bill, and Bill said, hey, why don't you come down to my research area and I'll give you a class on what to look for when you're out hiking or you're out hunting or you're just running around the woods. I'll show you what kind of evidence to look for. And I was like, ooh, Mr. Nonchalant's going to take me out and teach me about the forest people and what to look for. I was like, ooh, an expert's gonna teach the student. And so it took a while to coordinate. And he's off Monday and Tuesday because he has an adult job that he has to do the rest of the week. And we went up to his research area, and very quickly we got to the first set of tree structures that we've since dubbed the cathedral. And I'll explain why in a minute. As we're walking up, Bill says, this has changed. And I had no point of reference because I'd never seen anything like this before. And he goes, I've been up here for 4.5 years and it's never changed. He said, they've been adding to it. So what was supposed to be a 3-hour class in about 15 minutes changed into an investigation. And I had told Bill about some of my background and that I've done investigation before. And we literally started investigating the new things that we found. At one point, we found prints about a mile up from our first stop at the cathedral. But it took us 4 hours to go that mile because we were stopping every 75 to 100 feet because we were finding other kinds of sign that they were active in the area. Basically, listening to Bill, doing what Bill said, ended up getting me 4 sightings in a 24-hour period, that Monday and Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Now we got to back the truck up and tell us about these sightings.
Well, the first day, like I said, it took us 4 hours to go a mile. When we got to that mile point, there's a spot that we call the print shop, which was a very steep embankment. And there was something that looked like a washout in the soil. And we were looking for deer sign because we were working on the logic that they would probably be following the food. So that would give us the best chance of finding a print. And we stopped and investigated a deer trail. And sure enough, we found some juvenile and a couple of adult prints, but they were old. They had leaf litter and pine needles in them. You could still see the outline of a foot. You could still see the outline of the hallus or big toe. You could tell this was a huge print, but you really couldn't tell how old it was. So we went and looked at the washed out thing that we saw on the hillside, and it turned out that it was a print. As Bill got closer, he exclaimed, "I see toes," which was all it took for me to go, "Really?" Because he had asked me, what did I want to find? And I said, I want to find fresh evidence, something that's, not from last hunting season or 3 summers ago, driving through the national forest or whatever. I wanted to see something that had just been done. And this print couldn't have been more than a couple hours old when we found it. Let me back up a minute here. The reason we name these structures and these sites is we look at them like they're artwork, and every piece of art on the planet has a name. Well, the side benefit of that is I don't have to later on when we're not on the mountain, I don't have to explain, that one that we saw that was sort of A-shaped, that was about 3/4 of a mile up on the left-hand side near the overhanging rock. I can just say Colossus. That's the name of one that we found. And immediately the other person knows exactly the structure I'm talking about, the layout and everything that surrounded it. Again, we look at them like artwork, and every piece of art on the planet has a name.
Do you want to, I don't know if you want to share that one funny story you told me about that one structure that you leaned on?
Oh, I don't want to name names, but it accidentally got knocked down.
Yeah.
And luckily, I had just taken a whole series of photos and video on it. So we picked it up and reassembled it the way it was.
So who leaned on it and knocked it over?
Oh, I'm not going to name names.
Oh, okay. It wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me. I was holding the camera.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But let's just say that it was like, oops. We didn't really want the forest people angry with us.
So Matt, Santa, do you have any questions about his first sighting?
Nope, not yet. This is fascinating.
So Santa's just brain dead right now.
Yeah.
So
real quick, Stan, that reminds me. Last year I was camping, and when I go to take a leak or number 2, I'm cognitive of where I'm at, or if I'm always wondering if someone's watching me, but I'll look for structures. And this time I was, okay, I'm going to go poop over here. There's nothing there. I take a dump. I look back. I pooped under a big X, and I made a point not to do that. And then when I look back, I was like, oh no. And that was, I told the story on Doug's show before. We were left an elk skull the next day. It's a long story, but I took a picture. Like, I even looked for this, and I still pooped right under a big X. So, anyways,
nice.
It's hard to notice structures sometimes.
Way to go,
sometimes
Santa.
You don't even notice them. And sorry about that sidetrack.
Yeah, no, it's good.
All right.
That's
So
interesting stuff.
when we
what it
saw
stands
this
as.
washed out print, and it looked washed out, but it really wasn't. On closer examination, we found 2 knuckle prints right above it and a knee print below. When we think it was a female, when she jumped from the road to the steep embankment, she slipped a little bit and had to put both hands and a knee down to keep from sliding down the embankment. Now, this was a really steep incline, greater than 45 degrees. And we came up with a very interesting way to cast it. To make a form with cardboard boxes and 6-penny nails and create it so there's an opening up top that we could fill it with the plaster and the plaster would flow in and make a form. And so we brainstormed a great idea. We cut the cardboard, we got all the tools ready, we had our bags ready. And it was becoming a long day. So Bill decided to take me to the spot of, I think, his 5th or 6th sighting, which was on a marsh. And we're there, and I'm sitting where he was sitting, and he's telling me about his sighting, and he's telling me about the duration and what they were doing. And, I'm sitting there looking off across the marsh, trying to picture what he's describing in my head. So I walk up closer to the marsh, and he walks up, and we're at the edge of the really wet part. And, he's telling me about this, that there was one that was on the other side, and he's pointing out the trees. And I'm looking over there, and I see something that I've seen before, but the physical conditions were not right for where we were to see this. And what I'm talking about are the waves in the air, the shimmer, a distortion that's caused by heat radiating off hot asphalt in the desert. And, it looks like a shimmer on the horizon line. And here we are at sundown in a wet marsh. It's cold on a mountain. And I'm seeing what look like heat lines, that shimmer on the other side. And I'm like, Bill, can you see that? And Bill looks over, and Bill sees a juvenile Sasquatch that's part of his research area and his research group. And we were both standing there at the march, and I'm like, I'm not sure what I just saw. The conditions are completely not right for this to happen here. And I go, so, again, I saw something, and it spawned probably 1,000 questions. And Bill was patient. He tried to answer. At that point, he was taking me to a spot where he'd found a lot of tree breaks and footprints, but we were on about 6 hours from what was supposed to be a 3-hour tour. And I was literally hitting information overload. I don't know if you guys can hear me because I can't hear you.
Yep,
So
we can hear you.
Okay. So we decided to pack it in, and I was hungry. So we went down the hill and got some burgers, and we're talking about coming back and casting some more of the prints at that slope. And so we got up early the next day. This was a Tuesday. Drove up the mountain, got to the spot. The whole plan for that Tuesday was to just cast that really difficult print. We weren't planning to go anywhere else. There was nothing else going on. In fact, I wasn't even planning to stay for Tuesday. But the chance and the challenge of casting this extreme incline print was just too irresistible. So after assembling it and getting in position, about to do it, as we're approaching and I'm about to put the form on, Bill's watching the print and watching the fine details between the toes disintegrate before our eyes.
Why?
Yeah, no, literally the thing just crumbled. All the little ridge lines between the toes crumbled and fell into the heel. And, and
I got you.
You lost all of this beautiful detail.
It was obviously
it was
loose soil, sand soil.
Well, it was a time when they were having thunderstorms, and I think that Monday morning there had been moisture going through the area, but there hadn't been anything by the time we got there Tuesday just before lunchtime. And I think it just dried out enough that, and there was no breeze or anything, so we didn't know, but we realized at that point that we weren't going to get the print that we thought we were going to get. So we started searching around the area, going, well, if there's the one, there's got to be more. And we did a circular route because we didn't want to step on the bank and we didn't want to mess up any of the prints that were already on the bank, and started walking through the forest canopy above it. In this one site, we found over 40 prints, including one that was in the leaf litter under the forest canopy that was 22 inches by 12 inches wide. I tried to take several photographs, but the light was just not in a way that I could get a decent photograph. There was no way to cast it. And at that point, I said, what we need is LiDAR. I need to be able to scan this so I can turn it into a 3D object later. After doing that, Bill said, well, let me take you up and show you the site of my last sighting. And so I was like, ooh, so this is the spot you've actually seen one. And he's like, yeah. And so we're sitting there having lunch before we leave the print shop. And while we're sitting there eating our sandwiches and, we're planning out what we're going to do, I see the shimmer walk across the road about 80, 90 feet further up the road that we're sitting parked on. And we're sitting in the vehicle eating, and I'm looking out the windshield, and I see what looks like feet shuffling across the road. And I don't mean like it was a lazy walk. It was like an exaggerated pantomime to get my attention. And so I immediately shouted. I said, Bill, did you see that? And he's like, see what? And so I described what I saw. And he started laughing at me. And he goes, well, I think you just saw another one. I'm like, what do you mean another one? He goes, well, you saw one last night and you saw one now. And I'm like, but I didn't see anything except a weird distortion with light. And that's when he was telling me that they have other abilities that we don't, which intrigued me even more. So he then takes me up to the spot. This is probably 5:36 in the afternoon. We get up there and he's describing to me what he saw and where he did. And he had some photographs. So I was trying to use my camera to duplicate the angles that he did with his photographs. It's an investigative technique to see exactly where someone is standing, and if you can duplicate the evidence that was presented, particularly photographic, it lends credence to the story you've been told. So while shooting this, Bill is looking at the embankments, and Bill says, I see toes, which is like, ooh. He goes, and they look really fresh. So I walk over to try to take some of my own pictures, and while I'm focusing the camera, I have this feeling I'm being watched. And so I look up and I scan the trees, and about 50, 60 feet up the embankment was a Y-shaped tree, and standing in the middle of the Y was a head and shoulders of something. It was black fur, and it was so black, I mean light absorbing black.
Like Vanta black.
Like, I mean, I couldn't fathom. I literally stood there going, am I really seeing what I think I'm seeing? Or do I want to see one so bad that my mind is playing tricks on me? And I literally had a camera in my hand, but I didn't have the presence of mind to try to snap a shot. I did, however, think, well, let's mark the place on the ground where you're standing. So I drug my heel to make a spot where I could put my heel back. I stepped away for about 30 seconds where Bill was photographing what was actually fresh prints on the embankment, probably a lot fresher than we even thought. And I walked back over and stood in the exact same location, lined up the same tree, and what was there was now gone. I still didn't believe what I saw. I figured because it was a Y-shaped tree that, like the dovetail sight on a rifle, if you don't line up the blade just right, you'll never hit the target. So I was thinking, well, maybe I lined up a really black stump or something further up the hill there, and it's not what I think it is. So I walked down on axis down the road so I could see what was behind this Y-shaped tree. And there were no burnt stumps. There were no black rocks. There was nothing black anywhere on the hill. And I'm like, okay. So I look further. I start scanning the whole hillside. And I look a little bit further up at about another 80, 90 yards up the embankment was a huge tree that had been cut into sections by the Forest Service so that the huge tree wouldn't fall completely down the hill and take out all the other trees. At the base of this tree, which was easily 5 to 6 feet in diameter, I suddenly saw a black head and shoulders pop up from behind the tree and start rocking side to side. And I stood there and stared at this for at least a minute and a half to 2 minutes. And at that moment, I realized that I'm not hallucinating. This is not wishful thinking. I am actually seeing what I think I'm seeing. I'm seeing something that I've been told my whole life doesn't exist. I'm seeing something that I thought was local folklore that the residents used to take advantage and make tourist dollars. I was looking at a Bigfoot.
How far away were you? How far away were you, Stan, again?
Our staring contest, he was probably 210 and maybe 220 feet up the embankment. Literally, I was staring at him. I was not going to take my eyes off of him. Until I realized you're having a staring contest with something that's probably a whole lot bigger and definitely a whole lot stronger than you are. You should let him win. And so Bill told me, he goes, ignore him. And that was like counterintuitive to what I was thinking. And he goes, if you ignore him, he'll stick around longer. And so Bill, my teacher, who taught me what to look for, got me my first sightings. And I figured, that was the voice of experience, and I should probably listen and take his advice. So I ignored him. Bill's first question is, are you going to freak out? I said, no. He said, are you afraid? I said, no, it's more like being awestruck because I just saw something that I've been told isn't real. And I just saw it with my own eyes. So, yeah, it's very real.
Got it. Hang on a second here. We just got joined by another really bad Santa or an Irish elf. I don't know what the hell he is. What are you? Are you kind of a hybrid?
Oh, your mic is muted.
Your mic is muted there, elf or Santa. You got to unmute it. It's at the bottom. The little mic symbol. You got to hit it again. There you go.
Well, yeah, sorry about that. I'm I used to be a leprechaun, and there was more money in the elf industry. So, but this time of year I get into the Christmas spirit. The good thing is this is a regular size flask, but being my size, hey, there you are, right there. We'll have the Christmas spirits. I'm in the.
You guys need to take a toast, Matt. Okay, so we have one Santa that's clean shaven. We have another one that's glued cotton balls to his face. That's never going to get them off.
Yeah.
And he didn't even take the time, Bill, to comb his cotton balls.
Oh, wait a minute. You're going to show the flask, or are you going to share, or what?
Can you come closer so we can actually see your beard? That's real clever.
I started this after the show started, so I thought I did pretty good.
And what type of glue did you use there, Matt?
Super glue.
You did not use the Elmer's.
I couldn't find my Elmer, so I put a glue stick and I went like this.
Oh, glue stick. Oh, that'll be fun. Anyhow, now we got this lazy Irish elf that didn't do anything. He just comes out.
I got ears. I elf ears.
I don't see your ears. You got to come closer there, Elf. Oh my God,
yeah.
what are they? Clipped on bobby pins? What are they?
It might be duct tape.
Very creative.
Okay.
Well,
Duct tape on the beard would suck.
I guarantee your wife figured that one out, right? The duct tape.
This is filled with peppermint schnapps, by the way. Anybody have peppermint schnapps? The only good thing about peppermint schnapps is when you throw up, it smells like Christmas.
Yeah, it matches your shirt too.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
I just want to find that pot of gold. Where did I put it? I don't know.
Bigfoot stole it.
I think you're all mixed up there, Santa.
It's a confusing time of year.
Wrong holiday. Wrong holiday.
Only a few months away from St. Patrick's Day. Christmas is a few days away. What do you drink? Jameson, peppermint schnapps. What do we do?
So leprechaun moonlighting is an elf.
I got water.
That's right. I enjoyed your Bigfoot stories. Bigfoot's hanging out all the time up in the North Pole, by the way.
Oh.
He loves candy canes, and sometimes he'll eat an occasional elf. That's bad.
Now, Santa, you've had some personal Bigfoot experiences, correct?
Yes, I have.
I've never
By the
seen
way,
anything.
I should show you my shirt.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, you and Matt have the same taste in clothing, I see.
Yeah. Me and Stan have the same flag.
So where does one, Bill, get a green sport coat? Where does one buy one?
You have to win the Masters.
Oh, it is a golf. Golf coat.
You win. You steal it. You sneak into Augusta. Is what you do. And there's a whole rack of them up there. Nobody's.
Well, bring the schnapps. You might be able to bribe them.
I like that. Yeah.
God.
Haven't you seen Happy Gilmore, Doug? Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
Steal the
Actually,
green
not too
jacket.
long ago.
Yeah, good.
I like that. I like what's his face? He cranks out more movies than I do podcasts.
Yeah. He's a good actor, actually.
He is. Our Irish elf, by the way, is the accountant in the new Volkswagen commercials. He plays the accountant.
Oh,
Is
yes.
Is that something I can disclose?
Whatever you want to disclose. I do a lot of things.
Yeah,
He gets around.
he gets around.
Nice.
New Volkswagen. The
Yeah,
voice
he is-
of the face.
No, you're not the voice. You don't do any talking in that commercial. I've seen it.
I did radio. I did one radio commercial in the spring.
Yeah,
Spring
you just-
sale. It was a radio
Yeah,
and
when
national TV. And
you were Chris P. Poultry too, weren't you? The lawyer Chris P. Poultry for the chicken commercial, the chicken
well,
chain.
This is all very confusing. I thought I was coming on as an Irish elf. Now you're talking about all these crazy other characters.
Well, I wouldn't have gone there, but you're the worst Irish elf I've ever seen.
Well, how many Irish elves have you seen, for Christ's sake now?
Oh my God, you got
Food's
duct
sake.
tape for ears. You got a green sport coat.
You
You got a
fooled
Bigfoot
Santa.
Bigfoot T-shirt and a Santa Claus hat. What the hell's going on? Take your damn hat off so we can see your ears.
There's no dress code at the North Pole. Have you been up there?
Actually, close.
It's cold.
Oh
You gotta
God.
keep drinking. This bottle's almost empty. There's just enough in here to make me mad.
Okay, we're going on with Stan. So just you
All right.
guys, just
All
hang
right.
out.
Sorry
you
to
get a-
interrupt this.
No. If you get
a very enticing story.
If you get
enjoyed
you
it.
get a question there, Irish elf or Santa Claus, you can just ask our guest. Okay.
I'll mute
Hey,
myself.
Stan, can I ask you a question before you go on? When you saw that shimmer, the second time you saw the shimmer, you said about like 80, 90 feet away, and then you said you saw feet. So
Yeah.
was it like feet and then shimmer on top of it kind of deal? Just
Well,
walking?
what I was staring at up the road was a harsh transition between basically a blade of sunlight between dark shadow with high contrast. And because I do a lot of photography, my brain was looking at that spot going, now, how would you set the f-stop to record that so you could still see detail? And I'm thinking all these technical terms. And I see the best way to say it was like an outline of feet. They were transparent. I call it a shimmer effect, but it looked more like the movie Predator with two governors, or soon to be governors.
Yeah, crazy. How did that ever happen? That two of the actors in that movie became governors.
That is wild.
It's crazy.
Well, it's a good trivia question.
It is. It's a really good one. I bet you our Irish elf would know the answer to that.
I don't know. I think he's having too much fun with the schnapps.
Irish elf was looking at the bottom of his bottle, I think.
He said he wasn't paying attention. He just there looking pretty.
So basically, after I had my fourth sighting, the two of what I guess is referred to as the woo, something that doesn't make sense in our normal world, and two that were what I'm told are now called face-to-face. My brain was having a really hard time wrapping itself around this. It was definitely a life-changing moment. I wasn't sure what to expect, and Bill definitely deserves a medal for holding my hand for a couple of weeks while I went through a little bit of traumatic stress over this, because it literally fractured my reality. If this is real, then what else is real that we're told is not? That we're told is fantasy, the modern mythos. Bill actually warned me that day. He said, if you think this is weird, he goes, it's just starting. And I thought he was kidding. I didn't think it was serious at all, but literally the day after my sighting, weird stuff started happening around my place. Within a couple of days, I was given a little sort of dark yellow rubber ball that was stuffed between logs in a pile of firewood that I have. And since I had just stacked the firewood a couple of days prior, I know for a fact there were no little yellow rubber balls stuffed in my wood pile.
I think our elf has got little rubber balls. little yellow rubber balls, don't you?
Hey, come on now.
So,
hey, Stan, did the ball look like it had been weathered, like it's been outside?
Yeah, no, it definitely looked like it was not new. It was actually filthy.
Okay.
It was just really weird because I had just done this a couple of days before, and I literally walked over, and you could see it when you walked up to it. I'm like, what is that in my wood pile? And Bill says, you're sure it wasn't there? I go, well, I'm positive it wasn't there. I stacked that thing by hand. And he had me take pictures. And sure enough, we believe that was my first gift. And since then, I've received a couple of pieces of quartz stones, 3 different feathers, a blue jay, a rooster, and a raven feather. The blue jay feather was stuck in the ground like a flag, about 1.5 inches, literally straight up and down. I get it. Feathers fall, but do they insert themselves into the soil? I've never seen anything like this before.
I have. Yep, it's kind of common actually. Getting feathers.
Well, the next one was the rooster feather, and that was literally right inside my front door. and it is a pristine feather, which I have 5 cats. If you bring a feather into my house, it will be destroyed in under 3 seconds. They literally go nuts for those things, yet this one was pristine right inside my front door. I couldn't believe it. So I picked that up and saved it. And, you know, I started writing stuff down. Bill told me, document everything you find. He goes, no matter how weird you think it is or how unrelated you think it is, start writing it down. Start notating it. Start taking photos. Start documenting everything that happens. And, you know, I was still very skeptical. You know, even though I saw one, I'm still, no, they're not at my house. What are you talking about? I got another feather. I got a piece of concrete that when you turn it to an angle, looks like it's got a sagittal crest, like it could be a Sasquatch head, the shape. I started finding footprints outside my front door. In fact, I've got an 18.5-inch cast of a footprint that I got from 10 feet outside my front door in my yard.
Sounds like a big problem.
I don't know if it's a problem. Bill says they visit because they are attracted to people who have certain attitudes, certain beliefs, and that they resonate at a higher frequency. He says they choose who they interact with. And again,
but are you believing him at that point? Are you I
well,
mean, are you still skeptical?
even today, we're actually research partners now with the Sasquatch
Right.
puzzle, and even today, I'm still gonna be skeptical. Me,
Yeah.
I don't just take everything at face value. I need hard evidence. I need something I can sink my teeth into, something we can track, we can trace, we can measure,
Right.
we can check its orientation. I can't just take somebody's word for it. I kind of, show me, because seeing is believing. And after having seen one, I definitely believe. In fact, now I would say it's a fact. They exist. They're everywhere. What Bill taught me is about their tree structures. He says you don't build a house and don't live in it. So when you see these things they build, these things we call artwork, it's because they frequent the area. This is where they hang out. And that's what he was taking me up to teach me. And it resulted in me getting a sighting, a face-to-face sighting within 24 hours of setting foot on the mountain. It's not something I ever thought about. It was, if anybody was shocked, it was definitely me. Literally, according to Bill, he saw my hamster fall off the wheel.
Yeah. The Irish elf had his hamster fall off his wheel once. I watched him, and he went out researching in northern Minnesota, right, Elf?
That's right.
And you want to just relay that story really fast?
Well, I was researching Bigfoot. We were dropped in the woods in the middle of the night, and the cameras weren't rolling. I heard some noises, and I was with another Bigfoot. Who was the Bigfoot? I was with another Bigfoot expert.
Paul Guffey.
Yeah, and he's like, "That's there's a Squatch around." So anyway, we walked down the road. And then I just felt the presence. The woods are really noisy. Woods are really noisy at night in Minnesota, northern Minnesota. All of a sudden, the woods just went completely silent. No cricket, no frog, no nothing. It was just completely quiet. And that was weird. And then we heard some crackling in the woods. And I look up, and up like about 8 feet high were 2 glowing green eyes looking right at me, coming from the woods. And my first reaction was, I'm going to go see what it is.
Well, didn't you run? Like, you left your partner?
No, probably not the best idea.
You just left.
So,
you just ran.
So I told Paul, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run. And I did. I ran. I ran back as fast as I could.
And you know what he said, Stan, why he ran? literally goes, he didn't want to get eaten.
I did.
So that's
No matter
why
what.
that's why he ran.
If it was a bear or a Bigfoot, it wasn't a bear. It was definitely some kind of a Bigfoot. We were surrounded, is what happened.
That was your first time out researching.
And I had to believe now. So I'd stand. It's an amazing story.
I like your character. You kind of went into a John Wayne thing.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you've completely went from Irish elf now to John Wayne.
Little too much peppermint schnapps, I think.
I think so.
Need a little bit more. A little bit more peppermint schnapps.
Or not enough. One of the two.
Oh my God. Yeah, something's wrong. Hey, by the way, if anybody can guess how many feet of duct tape he's got in each ear when it's unfolded, you could win not a contest. And if you could guess how many cotton balls Matt glued to his face, then you could win not a contest. You got to guess the exact number. And we probably won't know the answer for years on either of those. Anyhow, sorry. Oh, God. So, okay. So my question is you obviously had a very open mind just coming into this thing, but yet you don't seem like an open-minded guy. Just because of all of the things you've done, Stan, and all of the work and blah, 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 that your past careers that you've had, it just doesn't bode with somebody that would buy into a cloaking Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I do. And in fact, I'm probably the most shocked of anybody because, again, this wasn't anything I was remotely interested in.
But was it, my point was it because you saw it with your own eyes? That's my
Oh, yeah. No,
right.
Once I saw it, it was like, oh, this is real. I kind of had two choices. One, I could run from it and walk away. Or two, I could embrace it.
Like Bill did.
See where it takes me. After our 2 crazy days of class, and the fact that I got two face-to-faces within 2 to 3 minutes of each other at different locations on the mountainside, Bill, who's never had a research partner, asked me if I would like to join him as a research partner. Since he doesn't have the technical or filming skills to produce videos, and I do. So it seemed, he's got the experience in that, and I know how to tell a story with pictures and sound. So we thought it would be a good thing, and the Sasquatch puzzle was born. We have a YouTube channel, which now has 2 collaborative videos on it. The first called Twisted Tuesday, and the latest one, which is called Dreamweaver, where we show you what we find. In fact, the style is kind of like a cinema verite, a real-time thing. None of it's scripted. What you're seeing is basically what we find as we find it. I put the timestamps on there from the video clip or the photograph that you're looking at. So you can see that, 20 minutes has passed since we found the last thing, or an hour and a half has passed. But we don't actually go out with an agenda. We go out and we look for things that look like they were done with purpose, things that don't fit a natural explanation, like the big X's, like trident trees, like teepees, like ground stars, like ground crosses, all of these things that look like it took hands to build.
Yeah. Do you have any other? Is this a video that we're watching, Jeff?
These are pictures from I pulled from his Facebook.
Oh, can you just scroll through a few more?
Yeah.
Just to show what kind of stuff he's talking about. And you can chime in, anybody, including you, Cotton Ball Santa or Irish drunk elf. So those are, see, I love when I see the weaving. The weaving's always really cool. Whether you got stuck in it, look at that. It's all
One of the ones I like are these twist breaks.
yeah,
And yet trees break all the time.
but they don't.
But to have it twist means you need an opposable thumb and a wrist. Because I'm pretty sure we didn't have like a microcell tornado land in the middle of the forest and just break and twist one little tree and not affect any of the other trees around it.
Yeah.
And that's what gets me. And I was asked, what do I think they are? And I said, they're signposts. If you didn't stay in a place year round, say it's your summer home or your winter home, when you come back, the foliage will have changed. But if you have these things, they're signposts, they're markers. They tell you where you're at. I mean, we do it all the time with street signs. There's no difference.
Yeah, we are always changing our environment. Do you have any other like footprint casts, Jeff? You can throw up there.
Yeah, I'm pulling some. I got a few here. I'm getting ready here.
Oh, there's a tree twist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Stan, do you think they move with the seasons and then come back, and it's kind of like a
My theory is that they follow the food.
Yeah.
Okay. They know when deer and elk are migrating. They know when the salmon run. They know when the berries bloom and when they can be harvested. You know, I think that they're a whole lot smarter in that regard than we are.
I agree.
This is why when we were looking for the prints, we were looking for signs of deer or elk going through, because the logic would dictate that, yeah, if you're a big bipedal creature that's conserving energy as you're moving through the forest, you're not going to do anything without a purpose, without a plan. So we figured the best likelihood of us encountering some prints would be to find a game trail. Again, following the food. I have a lot in common with them in that regard. You can ask Bill. It's all about the snacks.
Have you noticed these markings near game trails mostly?
Oh,
Or
yes.
sometimes? Yeah.
Around game trails. In fact, the first ever tree weave that I found was right over a game trail.
Yeah.
I had stopped to, how do I say this? Water a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was relieving said pressure, I'm looking in front of me and I see 3 young trees all bent from different directions, all woven together. And I'm looking at this going, this is just really odd. We were underneath the forest canopy on the leeward side of the wind, on the east side, northeast side. And so it's not like it's exposed to wind and the wind could have whipped around and had them do this. This looked like someone had actually woven it. And again, I don't know it was Bigfoot or Sasquatch or the forest people because I didn't see it done. But it was just odd. So I took a picture. Again, this wasn't on my radar at that time. I wasn't thinking it was them. I was just like, this is kind of weird. So let's take a picture of it.
So
it wasn't until later that when I was at Beachfoot and showed Bill this photo that I took on March 1st of this year, that he told me, oh yeah, that's part of what they do. And so that had me completely intrigued at that point. I was like, wait a minute. This thing that isn't supposed to exist runs around the forest and builds interesting, intricate stuff. In fact, one of the structures we found that we call Colossus, the timbers involved are 2.5 to 4 feet in diameter and anywhere from 60 to 90 feet long, with the thicker end of the tree inverted in the air, some 30 to 40 feet above our heads. This is why we called it Colossus, because it was incredibly huge. There were no drag marks. There were no root balls. There were no sockets in the ground where these things could have possibly fallen from. They look like they were placed. They were interwoven together. Um, I'm sure it means something to them, and I would love to learn what these structures and symbols mean.
Stan, I found one last year between Rainier and Mount St. Helens, and it was about a 90-foot X. And it looks like it would have been hard for them to fall that way, but there's one place in the middle, like an asterisk, and you could see where the moss on the ground, it was laying there and something had picked it up. And that middle one was a good 50 feet tall, well, maybe 40, and the other two are about 80. It was huge.
Yeah,
There's no way a man could have done it, and no way a tractor could have gotten in there. It was in the middle of nowhere.
Well, that's what we look for. Are there signs that human beings could have been involved? Are there marks on close by trees where block and tackle could have been? Are there marks from treads where they could have brought in heavy construction equipment? Because I'm thinking that maybe it's a bunch of Forest Service workers with a twisted, dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find any rational human explanation for these things. Or natural explanation.
You have
to. The wind blew and it fell this way.
Yeah, you have to look at every possibility.
Well,
if
there's even a remote chance.
Let me tell you something, Stan. The elves think that these figures in the woods are really they're like similar to the crop circles of the woodlands. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
what do you think about that?
I don't know. Crop circles of the woodlands. I haven't seen any geometry as pretty as crop circles in the forest, but I have seen some pretty unique things. The interesting part is finding a row of tree breaks, 5 tree breaks, all within 3 to 4 feet of each other. All, when you put a compass on them, aligned to north. Every single one.
There you go. So that's pointing towards Santa, they are.
Well, yeah, they are pointing towards Santa. For me, it's a mathematical thing. Or what are the odds that a big bough of snow fell and broke them all simultaneously, and they all happen to face perfectly north? Or the wind came and blew at the precise angle directly out of the north, because most storm winds come out of the south or southwest in the northern hemisphere, to have them all break so that the long end and the break is on the south side facing north like a compass. The math on that makes my head hurt.
So there you go. That's the crop circle theory.
Well, I don't know. We have one that we've dubbed Excalibur. And because it's an old tree stump that has another tree's root ball and I guess you'd call it the center part of the tree, all the branches are torn off. It's literally stabbed into the stump like the sword in the stone. And when you follow the weird shape of the root ball, using it like a direction pointer, it takes you to a freshwater spring and something that looks like a hunter's blind. And when I say hunter's blind, I'm not doing it justice. I'm 6'2", not exactly a small guy, and you could stand 5 or 6 of me inside this hunter's blind and we'd still have headroom. Just some things that are like, okay, maybe a person did do this, but all of the tree breaks are easily 8 to 10 feet above the ground. And yeah, they could have been made years ago and the tree kept growing, but the tree break ones were dead and it was the other ones that were alive. And some of them looked like somebody had been attempting to crochet tree branches together to make a cover.
What are your theories, Stan, on what these things could be? Do you have list of theories?
Well, since I've been working with Ron, particularly on Voices in the Wilderness, I've been kind of shocked that the stuff that he talks about in the book are things that I've been thinking on my own. Again, I didn't read his book till I was working on the audiobook. Don't know anybody else's published works. Haven't done any study on this. I was kind of just sort of sucked into the middle of this. And I'm hanging out with all these people who are really well known in this research area. And again, I'm still super green. I don't know who everybody is or what they've done. And I'm just absorbing as much of this as I can. And even when we do find something and we go, ooh, here's a possible answer. The problem is it generates several hundred to several thousand more questions.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this endless rabbit hole. The more you dig, the more you find, the more questions it spawns. And that's a
Right.
little frustrating.
Yeah, it's probably what the Irish elf thinks about everything.
Well,
Right.
Santa has a theory that it's aliens, that Bigfoots are actually alien creatures that can come in and out of portals.
Could
Well,
be.
you wouldn't actually have to be an alien in order to access a portal. And if we're talking about a portal, we're talking about some sort of wormhole or Einstein-Rosen bridge. In order to be stealthy, in order to bend light, and we human scientists have figured this out, you can use very strong magnetic fields that are modulated at specific frequencies. And it's an adaptive camouflage. If they are star child mixed with humans, or from a biblical standpoint, the Nephilim, then they have a connection to the earth that I think we had at one point. The mitochondrial DNA comes back as human. The nuclear DNA comes back as unknown. So possibly a hybrid of some sort. I don't know. I don't have proof and I haven't looked at the data myself. Could they control this stuff? Well, I think, yeah. We only use 10% of our brain, and nature abhors a vacuum and abhors waste. So that other 90%
Bill, just
may
stop.
be able to do
Stop,
things.
Stan. He just said we only using 10% of our brain. You're going to let that slide there, Irish?
Well, he wasn't looking right at me when he said it.
Well, no, it's true. You know, it's like our DNA. They say that only a small percentage of it is actually what creates us as human beings. And they call the rest of it junk DNA, but is it really junk?
I doubt it.
Or if it was activated, would it give us another power? When we talk about paranormal, when we talk about paranormal or above normal, you know, there are things like ESP, intuition, telekinesis.
Yeah.
There are all these abilities that people are said to have and claim to have, and everybody, all the scientists want exacting, quantifiable proof. And, you know, I can't prove these things, and it's impossible to disprove a negative. You can't prove that something doesn't exist. But I'm just wondering if maybe they are connected to Earth and nature on an electromagnetic wavelength that maybe we used to share, but we lost it because we no longer need to use it once we domesticated ourselves into cities. I have experiments where I can prove that your skull's an antenna. I can show you what you were thinking. You even did a story about AI reading your thoughts and knowing what your dreams are.
And that the brain makes 20 watts of
broadcasting
electricity.
and receiving electromagnetic energy, sort of a mental radio.
Right.
This is proven by simply looking at the output of the waveform of CAT scans.
So Irish elf, how many
Brain
watts?
scans.
How many watts?
If you can read it, I mean, guys, you look at vector scopes and waveform monitors for video. I mean, after you get used to looking at the waveform monitor, you could tell where a human being is based on where the voltage and amplitude and modulation shows up on the monitor. So I don't think that this is out of the realm. Personally, I'm a Christian. Okay. I believe in God and Jesus is my king. But I believe this thing that we are is energy. Okay. That this body that we occupy is basically a meat suit that contains the energy for this experience that we're having.
Are you going to let that slide?
As you all know, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It simply changes form.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Maybe they're another form of us, or maybe they're closer to what we used to be. I don't know. I don't have any way to prove any of this. Unless I could maybe, sit down and hang out with them for 10 years and have them tell me their stories, but I don't think that's going to happen even in the future.
Dan, I heard a theory that Bigfoot's the original
It's just
human
one of those
and we are
things
the
that
hybrid.
this is sort of like a new toy for me. And I'm a button pusher and a knob tweaker. So when I get a new toy, I got to push the button, see what they do. I got to tweak the knob, see what they do. I've been thrust into this area of research that I had no clue about. I find myself rubbing elbows with all the cool kids.
By the way, can you hear the cool
and
kids?
not one of us really has all the answers.
I don't think you
In
can
fact,
hear us.
that's why I like the name of our research group, the Sasquatch Puzzle, because it seems that all of us have a little piece of a much bigger picture. And I think it's got greater implications for each and every one of us than we can even imagine at this point. Do you disagree?
Can you hear us?
I think I lost you.
Yep, we can hear you. Let's see here.
We can hear you.
Well, I don't disagree. I agree in everything he said.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I just sent him a text, too.
Yeah.
You sound like you're married, sir.
I was like, he's kind of ignoring my questions. Wonder why. So I couldn't figure out if he could hear us or not.
Here he is. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah, we were asking you lots of questions, and you were just going.
I didn't realize that you were gone because you guys are so polite and don't interrupt. So, thank you for being gentle.
Yeah,
this is technically only my second podcast.
Yes, it is.
Well, Stan, hey, I have a question. You mentioned the Nephilim, and you're a Christian.
No, you're doing great.
These are fallen angels we're dealing with, or something else?
Well,
and you've hung out with Ron Moorhead, so I know his.
But I know a lot about Bigfoot and aliens and energy and everything you're talking about, and it all could be intertwined.
Let's go back to the Sumerian stories, the Epic of Gilgamesh. He talks about a friend of his who was an enemy who became a friend named Enkidu, who is described as a very tall, very hairy wild man, which I find interesting. Okay. You look at the Last Judgment at the Sistine Chapel, painted by Michelangelo over 700 years ago. And behind the crucifixion, dead center in the painting, about a third of the way up, are two what look like Sasquatch hiding behind Jesus. So, I don't think this is a new thing. I think it's been around since we've been around, if not longer. Go ahead.
This might be off base or off subject, but you talked about hanging out with the guys in Oregon, Tobe and friends, and Sonia Zohar, before she passed, she was looking into the relation of like hairy women in the I don't know exactly what it was, but like Mary and these hairy women in biblical times and how it related maybe to Sasquatch. Have you ever heard of anything like that, or how that ties in?
Not necessarily about the women, but I've been going back to the Old Testament, reading about Goliath and King David. And it seems to me that Goliath is described almost as a forest person, except he was wearing Philistine armor and fighting for them. I've looked, this whole experience has started making me question the things that I had believed before and noticing little details that didn't sit well with me the first time. For example, the description of Merlin, and I'm talking about King Arthur's Merlin.
Yeah.
He was a hairy wild man with magical powers.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to wonder if the truth has been staring us in the face the whole time, but we're so arrogant and egotistical, thinking that we are the center and the apex of everything on planet Earth. I don't know if I believe that anymore. This literally made me start analyzing things that I'd already looked into and dismissed, and now I'm looking at it with fresh eyes, going,
Good.
This is interesting.
Do you think there's a chance that they're just a primate?
I think that would be calling us chimpanzees or another primate.
Well,
even though we shared 93% DNA.
Well, what I mean is flesh and blood. Do you think they just could be plain old everyday flesh and blood, just like you and I?
Well, yeah. But I think, and Ron's probably a better person to talk to about this, is that on a quantum level, if you can control frequency, and that means subharmonics, harmonics, having or doubling of a frequency, you can control the density of matter, because all matter is literally composed up of, atoms, which, molecules, which are composed of atoms that are all vibrating with valence electrons that are at specific frequencies.
But
we know that for some of these elements.
I realize, but have you made thought as to how they may have, if they're more advanced, how did they get more advanced?
That's a good question. I've always believed that the human race is a species with a very severe case of memory loss.
I agree with that.
They keep finding these ancient structures with construction techniques that surpass our current modern techniques.
Right.
Where they have, stones that are so precisely put together that you can't even slip a piece of paper through it today, thousands of years later.
The Irish elf can, though.
Well, if we're going to talk about the Emerald Isles, there's a castle on the north shore of Scotland that the outside of the castle walls show vitrification. Basically, rocks vitrify when they exceed extreme high temperatures. And this particular type of stone usually doesn't crystallize like this until about 8,000 degrees Celsius. Can you think of anything that might go from 0 to 8,000 degrees Celsius in an instant?
Hell no.
Well,
there's just
Oppenheimer did.
Oh, yeah, nuclear.
Yeah.
Nuclear
So
blast.
how did the walls vitrify on a castle that, did they, Greek fire can't do that. What can go that hot that quickly? Well, a nuclear reaction. So were there nuclear bombs in the past?
Don't you agree though, Stan, that most people, I think, do accept that we've been blindsided on all of our history? I think most people kind of
I think it's a fairy tale.
Yeah, I think most people kind of realize that at this point. But I just always wonder, where does Bigfoot fit into this historical picture?
Well, I have a little theory on that too.
Well, that's what I'm fishing for, your theories.
Okay, well, one of the things I always talk about is if you wanted to hide something, where do you hide it? Well, the obvious answer is in plain sight.
Yeah.
You put it in the center of town. Eventually, people get used to it. They stop asking questions.
Right.
So what do you do when someone visits your town, sees this thing you're trying to hide in the town square and says, hey, look at this? Well, you make a myth about it, okay? And today the modern myth would be television and movies. You make a story about it. You make a show. So that when someone discovers your truth, you can simply point at them and say, you watch too much movies and TV. It's the easiest way that they can discredit somebody. Again, I can think of several reasons off the top of my head that none of them are good. But if Bigfoot was declared an actual animal species living in the Pacific Northwest, in fact, living all over the planet, somebody who's with Greenpeace or one of these animal saving organizations would go, oh, we've got to do protective habitat. We've got to close it off. We've got to do all of this, which would immediately affect at least 3 industries I can think of off the top of my head. One being the tourism, going to national parks, camping, doing all the things that we do when we actually experience interactions with them. But the other 2 would be mining and the forest industry, lumber. So if you had to close off huge swaths of land that they could no longer be productive, it would ruin the economy in seconds. So better to have them stay a myth than to be a proven fact reality, because it would sort of upset the proverbial apple cart. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not in those industries, so it doesn't really affect me. Did I lose audio again?
No, I can hear you.
No, we can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear us? That's
well. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, we're just being quiet. We're listening.
I'm
to
actually
you.
watching this on a delay on the computer, so I can at least see what my framing looks like. I can't actually see with my glasses on my phone.
Gotcha. I see we lost our Irish duct tape.
Yeah, he sent me a text. He was having audio issues too. I don't know. Like
I said, I can't prove any of this. These are just theories.
Well, that's good. It's good. It's because that's the right attitude to have. We don't know anything.
Well, trying to come up with a rational, reasonable explanation for whatever it is we find. Again, I don't know that they built these tree structures because I wasn't there to see them build it.
Right.
Okay. I will tell you this, though. Footprints either lead us to the structures, or when we find a structure, we typically find a single solitary footprint in close proximity. And we were laughing about that because it's like, how come we only find one footprint next to their artwork? And I said, well, every artist likes to sign their work. It's part of the whole expression thing. So yeah, again, I have more questions than I have actual answers.
There you go. Well, I constantly state to people, and I get accused of being just thinking about only that they're some kind of either ape or a human. I have no idea what they are. I have no idea. I've witnessed some weird stuff too, but I can't necessarily say I can attribute the weird stuff directly to a Bigfoot. You know what I mean? So I can't correlate it exactly. We've seen orbs where we've had Bigfoot activity. We've been, bum rushed when hearing all this stuff, but yet there's nothing there. We've experienced a lot of things through the years, and I'm just open-minded. And I'm, it's obviously, I know you are too, Stan. Like you observe a lot of things. So what is the, and I know you've never really been scared of these. If I had some kind of an experience when I was taking the trash out, that'd be the last time I take the trash out at night. It just would be. It would be the last time I would do it. But you seem to have kind of at least confidence that they're not going to hurt anybody. And why do you have that confidence?
Well, Bill's been interacting with them for over 4 decades, and he has no fear. With my training and usually the toys I bring with me, I generally have no fear. I do have the ability to defend myself. But in my interactions and my experience with them so far, I have not felt fear. And not that I have a sixth sense, but I generally know when bad things are going to happen. It's a primordial kind of feeling where the hair stands up on the back of your neck. Not that that's the be all end all of what I do, but I just pay attention. They've shown no aggression. In fact, our latest finds haven't been the ones that I initially saw in Bill's research area. We've gone to places that we don't normally go. So we think that they are different clans. I don't really have a better term. We think that part of these structures they build obviously have a deeper, more detailed significance than simply artwork, because we see these patterns repeating: the X's, the figure fours, the weaved trees that are perfectly horizontal and level, TP structures, ground stars, asterisks, ground crosses. In fact, if Jeff wants to go look on my Facebook page, I have an underwater asterisk on a silty bottom lake that is here in the Cascade Mountains in, the southern middle part of Oregon. Just weird stuff. And again, I think part of what they do is they check to see who's paying attention. Will you notice these little subtle things? Will you stop? Will you pay attention? And I usually joke I'm so broke that I can only pay attention.
Hey, Stan,
but
what's
I take photos of everything. I document it.
Oh, there it is. That's my question.
I don't expect anyone to believe me, but I'll show you the photos I took. And if you've got a good explanation, I'm all ears. Please tell me something that makes rational and logical sense of how some of these things can happen. Yeah, and there's the underwater ground star. I can see it right now.
Stan, can you hear me?
That is a silty bottom lake. All of the other trees and things that have fallen into it are actually buried in the silt, and this is sitting out there. And what you can't see is when you zoom out on this is about 30 feet from the shoreline.
Yeah.
And again, I wasn't looking for this. I was taking a pretty picture of this mountain lake and the trees. It was a postcard type shot. And, I took the camera away from my face and I look at him like, okay, that's crossing at perfect 90 degrees. And one of the 90-degree angles is bisected at 45. So my brain immediately goes, what are the odds that these 3 sticks fell from a nearby tree and landed just like this, or that the wind blew it in such a way that they could all fall in this sequence? Especially since the trees are more than 30 feet away from where this is in the water.
Jeff,
so again,
Stan can't hear us.
I don't know for sure what it is, but it's
hear
really kind of mind-boggling.
Just turn him off, and then he'll
the
have to come
odds,
back
or what are the chances?
Sorry, Stan. He's got to.
Sorry, Stan. We love you, but you're something's wonky in his audio. So, what was your question, Matt?
Oh, I think he's still talking. I don't think he realizes he's not on.
Oh, Matt, what was your question? Oh, now we can't hear you. You got.
Oh my God.
Okay, sorry. I was on mute.
Oh, your mute was on. Okay.
Yeah, that's my bad. My question was, it seems like the violent encounters we hear with Bigfoot most likely have to do with people entering where they shouldn't, and they don't abide by the warning signs. Whether it's sticks or stones being thrown at them or bluff charges, whatever it is, where maybe there are young Sasquatch there. To me, through my research and listening to encounters, it seems like anything nefarious or bad that happens most of the time is because of that. What do you guys think?
Okay, first off, you're getting questions about your beard. It's cotton.
I'm having a rough go.
He glued cotton balls to his face with glue.
No, I grew this. This is all natural.
Right. It's natural. It's all natural. So it's cotton, real cotton. It's his real beard. The best Santa we've ever seen ever in our life.
We're auctioning this beard off at the end. So
yeah, you have to guess how many cotton balls he glued to his face.
Joe said 36. She might be close.
So if you guys want to start guessing how many cotton balls are on his face, that'd be great. So we were asking you a question about, do you feel that they're completely, you didn't, I don't know if you heard me or not, Stan, but the question was, do you feel at all there's any danger with these things? Like, is it at zero or is it a certain percentage? Where do you think the danger lies?
Or if
I
it's
think
because
it has
people
to do with the human being's attitude, and
I'm not. No. I don't want to. I don't want to blame it or count it. I'm
well,
just saying. Do you think they're
if you go
capable?
in with fear,
right?
And you go in with the attitude of I'm gonna go and shoot one and drag its body back and prove it. Didn't mean to do an accent there, but that's probably the wrong attitude. I have an inquisitive mind. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to see one for an extended period.
Yeah.
I'd like to learn about them, because if they're building these structures and these structures repeat all over the world, there is a significance to it.
Right.
I'd like to know what that is. The first step, to understanding them is to try to make contact. If they are Nephilim, if they've been here for thousands of years, imagine what they can teach us. Imagine what they can do to reconnect us with this planet and nature.
Well, I realize, but I'd just love to get an answer to that question. It's just.
Well, I'm not afraid.
Okay, zero. Like, are you at zero? Like, you have no way that
I've never had any kind of aggressive behavior in any of the things that we've gone out to.
Okay.
In fact, before I did last week's podcast, I had just come back from being down in the Applegate Valley with 3 members of our team, where we cast the trackway, where we got all those tracks. All 3 days, we experienced something very strange. We're in the forest, and it was dead silent. There were no birds. There were no squirrels. There was nothing. We attributed that to the fact that they were there with us and watching us, probably laughing at us while we were running around putting plaster in their footprints. But while we found a huge print, there's 3 photos of 3 prints I found in close proximity. One of them is 26 inches by 15 inches across. In one of the photos, I threw my pack of 100 style cigarettes.
Say that size again.
26 inches long by 15 inches wide. Okay. Yeah. I threw my pack of cigarettes in the middle of the print, and they are dwarfed by the size of this print. Literally, when I saw this, I was like, that is a really big foot.
Well, didn't Ron Moorhead get some massive kind of prints up at that Sierra camp too? That were
yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I was given a formula. Bill gave me this formula that when you have the length and width, you can calculate the height, and then you can also calculate how much it weighs. And according to the formulas, this one's 14 feet tall and weighs almost 3,000 pounds. And
that is the biggest print I've ever seen.
Yeah, you can see it on the screen right now. There's my pack of cigarettes in the middle of this humongous print.
Now, how do you know that's a print? That's one of the questions. Were there more than one?
Okay, the heel is at the bottom. The toe is a left foot if we were to go right or left foot. And the upper right is the big toe or the hallus. My cigarette pack is just inside where the arch would be if we were comparing it. What's interesting to note is that all of the leaf litter around the print is curved, yet all of the leaves inside the print have been pressed flat. And that's what made it stand out. And this was on an embankment. There were 2 other spots a little further up. And it was a trail that went up over the mountain. What's interesting about the trail is it was all of the trees on either side of the trail. The branches were broken off to about 11 or 12 feet above the ground with branches on the opposite side. So it looked like somebody or a freight train had driven through the forest and made a huge hallway.
Now, there's a comment up there, Stan, from Steamboat. He said that he measured 22-inch tracks from the 14-foot Sasquatch that he saw make them. So
Well,
that's
not everybody has proportional feet. I mean, it's a formula.
right.
And I didn't actually see him.
How big were
I'm not sure how I would react to look at something that's more than 2 times my height.
how big Jeff? Can you look up how big is it Shaq's feet were? I think he had the biggest.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Shaq? Can you look up?
It was like size 22. It was
I know, but
ridiculous.
can you actually look up how many inches his feet are?
Sure.
I don't want to know his shoe size because I want to know the inches. It really is huge, and I think Ron Moorhead's tracks were even bigger. Am I correct?
It was the biggest thing I've ever seen. While we were looking at it,
I wish
the
you
first thing I'm like, that's a really big footprint. I go, hold on, I don't have anything for scale. Let me throw my cigarette pack in there because we know how big that is.
I wish you would have found more than one, Stan.
Well, across the road from that, there with that group of pictures, there was one in gravel, which is really, really hard to see the detail, but you can see the heel and approximately where the front of the foot and the toes would be. And I almost stepped in that one because further down the hill, what we were trying to get to from the road was we saw what looked like a whole array of arches. That's one of the things that really stands out to us is trees that are under compression, meaning another tree is holding the tip of the arch down, or the tip of the arched tree is actually stabbed into the ground. And why do we know they're stabbed into the ground? Because we're crazy and we go up and actually pull them out because curiosity as to how deep is this stabbed in the ground. Yes, we put them back. We don't want to make them mad. But, at the same time, from the curiosity point and wanting to know just how far and measure and scientifically log and document all of this, we got to look and see. One of the things when we find X's that's kind of critical is that we don't really consider them an X unless the 2 elements are touching. And that's because if they're not touching, was it actually an X or was it an optical illusion based on the angle of your observation? And so that's one of the things that we do is it's like, oh, are they touching? And if they are, then we go up and investigate. The one thing I can tell you is when you do find structures, start panning out from what you find. They typically put more than one item close to each other. When we find one thing, it's like, ooh, that's interesting. When we find 2 things really close to each other, it's like, oh, that's even more interesting. But when you find 3, 4, 5, or 6 X's, arches, tree breaks, twist breaks, pinch breaks, ground stars, and they're all within 25 to 30 feet of each other, that makes you go, this maybe actually be something. And we start documenting. We just go crazy taking pictures and video.
Did you find any other imprints that were roughly that big in the same area? Or was it only the one print, Stan?
Well, earlier that print was found on Wednesday when we were on a spot that we call the 33-mile road. This was a new area that we were going to investigate because we'd found the trackway in Applegate Valley. The trackway that we found was 3 separate individuals. They were juveniles, but the toe drags, the mid-tarsal break, all of the elements were there. Now, we stood on the same ground. These tracks were 1 inch to 1.5 inches deep, even though they were relatively human size. I weigh 200 pounds. I stood on the same ground. You could barely see my imprint from the waffle pattern on my boots. And these things were an inch to inch and a half deep. And there hadn't been any rain. And Bill had just been there the week before, and the trackways we were casting were brand new. He was even shocked when he pulled up. He goes, "Oh my God, there's a whole lot more prints than were here before." So we started, we got down there and we started casting. In fact, at the end of Monday, we were really bummed because the plaster wasn't setting. It was still very tacky after about 4 hours. And so we reluctantly left the prints sitting there and came back really early Tuesday morning to harvest the prints. And by then they had set up and they were absolutely hard. So it was fabulous. In fact, I'm kicking myself because I didn't film us harvesting the prints, because I walked up with the shovel and pulled one out of the ground and it came out so easily. I was like a little kid with the shovel going, "Oh, let's get more prints. Let's get more prints." And then after we were done, I was like, "Ooh, I should have filmed that." So, like I said, I'm really new at this. So I haven't learned all of these lessons. It's sort of a trial by fire. Yeah, we make a lot of mistakes.
That's probably a good thing, though, because you don't have any preconceived ideas in your head. You're looking at it from a fresh perspective. So I think that's really valuable, actually.
Well, and like I said, I like to put my hands on something.
Yeah.
I like to be able to measure it. I've been looking at a new phone that has LiDAR in it, because what I'd like to do for some of these prints that have leaf litter and things in them is I'd like to be able to scan and turn it into a 3D mesh that I can suck into my 3D animation software. And we can actually go in and look at super fine detail. If it's mud or sand, we might even be able to detect dermal ridges, which I'm told is sort of a holy grail with prints.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jeff, did you find out the biggest human feet yet?
Well, I did. Well, I looked up Shaq. Shaq says wears a size 22 shoe, which translates to about 14 3/4 inches long.
10 inches shy. What about the biggest feet in human history?
I will look.
Look that one up. Anyhow, continue, Stan.
So, we go out. We've been going to different areas and not going to the main research area that Bill likes to go to, simply because it's fairly high in elevation, and this is the time of year that it snows, and we really don't want to get stuck on a mountain road. That would not be fun. So we've been going to these different places, and what we believe is that we are finding similar structures, and that they are, with the 3 areas that we've been going to, 3 separate clans. And the reason we think this is because the tracks that we do find, we measure, and you could tell by the measurements that it's different individuals, because not everyone has the exact same size foot. And these tracks are really fresh. Right now, it's a lot of rain. We've got an atmospheric river, so prints get made. Even my own prints in mud, rainstorm goes by and it washes out all the detail. You can tell someone stepped there, but you can't see any patterns or any kind of details, like, the way dirt squishes up between your toes.
Right.
In fact, when I used to serve, we used to all mark our boot prints with different notches, so that when we were out in the field, you could tell who went where by looking at their impression on the ground and the notches that were left. You could tell which member of the team went what direction. You didn't have to talk, you didn't have to make a sound or reveal your position. So I'm just applying the same things that we did back then to this. I'm looking at it as they're all individuals. And in regards to why I'm not afraid, I think there's probably some that have a bad attitude, and I think there's some that are infinitely curious about us. Just like we are all different, none of us are the same. I think they're all different, and none of them are the same. They share commonalities, but they're individuals with their own personalities. I've had a 5th sighting.
Well, hang on. So I just want to finish up one thought. on the big feet. I
I
was
just
in
po-
it.
that's what I found too. I posted with Verax.
So about 18 and a half.
Yep.
So one
that's
time
same thing I found.
I was at a convenience store. I'm waiting in line to pay for the whatever bread, whatever I bought at this convenience store. And I started taking a step backward. I felt I was too close to the guy in front of me. So I stepped backwards and I felt something hard. I'm like, holy shit. And I thought, oh, I'm standing on somebody's toes. And I turned around and looked, and there was a guy standing behind me that was the biggest human. I mean, he made Waddle look little. I don't know how nobody knew about this guy. His feet looked like they were 24 inches long because he was way back there. He had a van. I didn't meet him, but I wanted to. He walked to his van. He had a big hole and a big bubble and a big Ford Ecoline van, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And he got in his van and put his head through that big bubble that stuck up 3 feet above the roof of the van.
Holy
this guy was massive. I mean, his feet had to be 24 inches.
Wow.
He wasn't driving a Mini Cooper, huh?
No, it wasn't a Mini Cooper. No, and he wasn't driving an Irish car either.
Yeah.
Or a TR3 or anything. No, it was just crazy. And I thought, well, why isn't this guy famous? Like you would think you would know about him. But his feet, I mean, it was insane.
Wow.
So I don't know who he was.
Turned out to be Ronald McDonald.
Yeah. I don't know what in the hell.
I
That
guess
was
he's not
so bizarre. Just a freaky deal that one day. And there is a group, a Facebook group, if you guys want to check it out, called 10 Footers Plus. And they're always very kind to me. They let me post on there. But they just deal with big, let's just call it big Bigfoot sightings.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you were talking about humans for a second.
No. 10 footer plus. So they take sightings and collect data on, like Stan should do a post on his footprint.
Well, we've all heard of many accounts where they're over 10 feet, 12 feet, 14 feet. And it kind of drives me nuts. Even Jeff Meldrum and Cliff Berkman, they say, oh, that's impossible to be over 10 feet. But you hear them all the time, like monsters, huge elephant-sized shadows. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but they're out there. Stan, where were you when you found that huge footprint?
One of the things we've noticed, and this is just because we're trying to figure out what the pattern is that most of the evidence that we find is between 3,000 and 4,000 feet in elevation. And we were at about 4,000 feet when I found the huge print.
In Oregon?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Actually, it's in the northern end of Jackson County, probably the southern end of Josephine County. I couldn't tell you exactly because I wasn't looking at it on the GPS or anything. We were just kind of following the road and looking for things that looked out of the ordinary. And this print was literally on the right side of the road, and on the left side of the road in the direction we were traveling was a whole thing of arches. There's like 30 arches in this one little small area. And that's what made us stop, is like, ooh, look at all the arches.
Yeah.
And then once we get out, we start a spiral out from whatever it is that made us stop, and we look for more things. Again, one or two things, not that interesting. I mean, it is, but it's not like, ooh, we really found something. But when you find half a dozen or more, it's suddenly it's something. It's worthy of
yeah. That's great.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look, there's a whole lot of stuff of all of these similar things that you see, because now that I'm on Facebook and now that I've been in some groups, I'm seeing a whole lot of tree structures from Florida, from Ohio, from Texas, from Michigan, and they're all really similar. In fact, I was looking at some of the photos going, I think I've seen something that looks exactly like that locally. here.
Stan, I was going to say that earlier. Even like the glyphs and structures from Virginia, the East Coast, to where we're at, you can find almost the exact things, like an A with a, just the same exact formations. And it's been documented, and it's almost like they're trying to communicate with us or maybe themselves. But
and that's I find that really interesting, actually, Matt.
Me too.
I wonder if it's a signal for that for their clans and their groups. But I also wonder if it's an attempt to get us to try to understand, because we're running into these things.
Probably both, right?
I don't know. I want to know.
Yeah,
I want to learn what these things mean.
Yeah.
There's obviously symbology to it. There's obviously an orientation to compass points, which means it relates to the Earth's electromagnetic field. There's got to be a correlation here, and it's a big puzzle. And I think if we all kind of put our heads together, we might get a clearer view of the bigger picture, whatever this is.
I just have this sitting here. I don't even know who the author is, but I think might have been on.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And there's a bunch of books that kind of do this, but that kind of shows very familiar structures that are from both sides, even around the world, even Australia. And you get the same. I mean, the asterisk is common, the star, the X's, of course, but there's just more weird formations that you see the exact same shape. I don't know. It's beyond coincidence. Let's just say that.
When I got started doing this, I used to ask the question, when is a coincidence no longer a coincidence?
Sure.
And I didn't have an answer. And then one afternoon it dawned on me, when it looks like a well-orchestrated plan. And that's what made me go,
Yeah.
So if this is planned, and for some reason they've made sounds around me, put me in the orbit of all these people who've been researching, basically resources for me to learn from, is this their plan? Which would make me a game piece on their chessboard. But
yeah, that's a good way to look at it, Stan. So two things I need to get out. One, was there, when you found that really big footprint, people were asking, I think how you asked, was there any other damage in that area? Tree twists?
Oh, yes.
Around the big one?
Oh, yes. There's one branch.
Hang on. Just hang on. I got another part of the question. And then I want you to tell your next sighting that you were about to tell. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about the footprint. So then you can answer that, and then you can go ahead and tell your other story. So we're running out of time. That's why I'm bringing it up. So go ahead.
So what was there other evidence around the big footprint?
Yeah, that big one. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a branch that was about 12 to 14 feet above the roadway that had 5 twist breaks that were all within 6 inches to 12 inches of each other. I couldn't actually get up there to measure it because I didn't bring a huge ladder with me. That wasn't something I was thinking about. On the other side of the road from where the footprint was a huge amount of arches. Among the arches was probably another dozen tree breaks. The interesting thing about the tree breaks is they were all perfect 90-degree angles. So how does nature or the wind come through, or the snow load come to break a tree 2 to 3 feet off the ground, and it's bent at a perfect 90-degree angle? And yes, I measured them, because it was like, ooh, this is this a coincidence, or is this a plan? And that's why I do this. Like I said, this isn't something that I thought I'd be doing. Usually the guy behind the camera, no one sees my face, no one hears my voice except the people that are actually working with me. And here I am in the middle of this research area, and I'm finding stuff, and my research partners are finding stuff. And when you watch our videos, you'll see that really this is real time of us asking each other these questions. How did this happen? How could this have fallen this way? What are the odds that these things all fell at the same time? One of our recent ground stars we thought was really interesting. I haven't posted any pictures of it yet, but this was in an area that a fire had gone through within the last year. All of the trees, including the really young saplings that were around, all had char marks on them. And in the middle of all of these charred trees is a perfect ground star that is not burnt in any way. There are no sockets where the trees came from. There's no root balls. There's no drag marks. Like something really big picked these very large logs up from somewhere else and set them up in this pattern. You know, it's not that we're going out looking for anything specific. We're just looking for things that look like somebody did with an intention. And again, I say somebody because we didn't see them do it, so we can't prove it's the forest people, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or any of the other hundreds of names they're given based on what region they're in. One of my favorite ones that I just learned the other day was wood booger.
Yeah.
Which had me laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Dan?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and tell us the this next encounter that you had, Stan?
So, we went up to go look at a particular construct that has been dubbed Picasso because it's kind of interesting and it changes based on the angles as you walk 360 around it. And so we didn't find it. We took the wrong roads. We found a bunch of other tree breaks and tree twists. So the 20 minutes up the road took us 3 hours to get to where we were going. After we looked at Picasso and I filmed some sequences on it and took a whole lot of photos and got Bill pointing out this one particular one that we call Picasso has 8 X's, all within proximity. You know, we thought, oh, well, we're done. And Bill says, hey, you know, there's a spot on the other side of the mountain where there's this lake. And he goes, it's technically not a lake. It's late summer, so it's probably a mud puddle. And he said, well, there's possibility of activity there. He goes, I haven't been there in like 6 months to a year, but every time we go out, you know, because as we're driving, he's driving, paying attention to the road and looking on his side, and I'm staring out the other side, seeing. And when we see something, you just yell, stop. And we stop and get out and take a look, see if it is a something. So we get down to this place, and we're coming down the mountain, and on the far side, a place I've never been before, and I'm scanning the hillside, and I see the same one that I saw before paralleling us, running. And I mean, all 4 arms, all 4 legs, and he was running through the underbrush right at the tree line effortlessly. Kind of shocked me. So I can't actually share the video clip because I used a bit of colorful language when I saw him. It was definitely an interesting thing. That's the same day that we discovered Colossus. And right after I had my 5th sighting and we got to the Mud Puddle Lake, as we're walking down, we were given a lesson in scale because the next break was what we call a micro break, where it was a pinch break, but it was held on literally by a thread. It is an interesting lesson. We've come to think that perhaps when we go out and do this, that some of the things we find are them trying to teach us something. Don't know what it is yet because we're just trying to do our best to make an educated guess. I say guess because we don't know. We don't have enough information to establish it as a fact. We haven't had it happen enough to establish it as a pattern, but we're trying, and that's why we document. I I can actually read the chat here.
Oh no, yeah, I can see it. Yeah,
We
had some good questions.
Yeah, no, I'm noticing it. I want to say thank you to everybody for interacting. I this is all new to me, and it's kind of neat, very enjoyable, and thank you guys too as well, because I know we're getting close to running out of time. But
we ran out of time.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
let me just wrap up by saying
good.
that every single day they do something around my place, whether it's a gift,
Really,
a footprint. They've destroyed a couple of my water jugs that I use to water my tomato plants. We had a bit of a drought towards the end of summer, and
do they steal any of your garden vegetables?
No, actually, they didn't steal anything out of the garden, but they
okay.
did destroy one of my water jugs. I guess one of them got thirsty. Bill told me when stuff like this happens to go outside and talk to them. He said, you may not see them because they may be cloaked or they may be hiding behind a bush, but go out and talk to them. And so I went out and I said, hey guys, I'm not rich. So, I get it. You're curious, and I'm happy that you're comfortable enough to come by my property, but at the same time, don't destroy my stuff.
Yeah.
I can't afford to replace it.
Have you ever gifted them anything, Stan? Like an
yes,
object?
apples, a jar of peanut butter.
Okay.
And
what was the result of the gifting?
Well, the apples disappeared, and so did the jar of peanut butter, and nothing came back.
Okay. You never found the jar?
No. Literally opened. Bill said use creamy peanut butter. Just in case they might leave fingerprints. Apparently that's castable.
Yeah.
So I took the safety foil off and put the jar back on and closed it up pretty tight so that other little critters couldn't get in. And left it out by my barn. Oh,
Stan,
speaking of my barn, I'm actually missing a barn board. So kind of scared that one day we'll be walking through the woods and I'll come up on a structure and there's my missing barn board as part of the structure.
Go ahead, Santa.
Oh, I was going to say, have you ever found that they can hear what you are saying even in your home or in a place where there's no trees around, or even what you're thinking, and respond to that in the next day or whatever?
I believe 1/3 of the human race is receiving at all times because they're sleeping, and the other 2/3 of us are transmitting every thought, emotion, and feeling that we have. So I think this energy that is our brain waves and our skull, which makes a perfect satellite dish antenna, we're broadcasting our thoughts. And I literally think they have the ability to receive. Much like tuning the radio station on the dial of, well, look at me, I'm dating myself, on the digital readout in the stereo in your vehicle.
Yeah. Stan, I think this is I've told the story on Doug's show before, but I was on a river, in the middle of a riverbank. There's no trees, there's nothing that could have been close. And me and my buddy were talking, and we're collecting firewood one night. We were camping out in Greenwater, and I mentioned it's weird. We've been doing this for 10, 20 years, and we've never found an elk skull or even a shed. And the next morning when we were hiking out, there was an elk skull placed directly in the middle of our path hiking out, and there's no people.
Wow.
Yeah, well, what happened, Matt, the elk came there, died, instantly became a skull.
No.
And the flies and the maggots ate the, that's what happened.
Doug. Sure. But I still have the elk skull. Here, it's right here. I'll show you again.
Have you had any experiences, Stan, with skulls or bones or anything, finds?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I found deer bones that have radial twist breaks in them.
Oh, I want to talk
and
to you
no
about
teeth
that.
marks.
I want to talk to you about that because there's a section in Legend Meets Science about that. So I'd love to talk to you about that.
That was actually the second thing that I ever found. I found my first print in an interesting way, but we're going to keep this program family friendly.
Stan, something interesting. You talked about our skulls being antennas. That's measurable. A lot of people don't realize this. If you take the key fob from your car, you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, no, I've been showing people that for 30 years.
100% true. If you take the key fob to your car, like your remote start,
walk away from your car until your key fob no longer works, and then put it in the divot of your chin and keep
100%.
Walking, and you'll find
It's
it doubles
measurable.
the range.
Absolutely true. So everybody can try that and see that we're not making that up. 100% true. That will amplify that signal.
This is the exact reason people tune into Untold Radio.
Yeah.
What? Cool.
Yeah, to learn life hacks like that.
Yeah. It's something you can do it. Yeah, everybody can do it, and you can see for yourself that it works. It's
awesome because when you leave your vehicle and forget to lock it, and you go to click it in your hand, and it's like, oh, I'm too far out. Instead of walking back, put it to your chin and just let it rock, and you can lock your car from a distance.
Yep. True story.
Yeah, that's one of the things. The first time I showed a girlfriend that, she freaked out. She goes, it's gonna hurt me. I'm like, no, it's your skull that's acting as an antenna.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that we're all little walking radio transmitters. It's just we have lost the ability to tune in each other.
The other weird thing, by the way, there was a question. I think Lee asked. You can ignore this question. She wanted to know what blood type you were because many people have O negative that have these kind of interactions and experiences with UFOs and Bigfoots and
really
O negative. Yes, we've done surveys.
That's what I am.
Unbelievable.
So there you go, Lee. If you happen to catch that answer.
It's unbelievable how common that is in this community. I'm not, but it's
you've never seen
the universal donor
thing either, Jeff. You've never seen anything.
That is true.
What is the percentage of O negative people?
It's high. Like it's beyond coincidence, maybe.
No, but it's like 0.05 or 5% or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not a big percentage of people that
and
are
so
O
the
negative.
people that are O negative have a lot of experiences, and it's just we were doing
7%.
we were on Roger.
7%.
I think we were on Squatch and Holler's show, weren't we, Jeff? And that question got asked, and everybody went crazy.
I think we were.
In chat. Yeah.
7% of the population has O negative.
Yeah, but it was like 90% of the people
it's amazing
in our chat audience and all the guests that were on all had O negative, and it's like, oh, it's kind of interesting.
Maybe that just makes you more curious.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, all I know is the mosquitoes love me.
Yeah.
Oh man, me too.
Yeah.
Anyhow, see, Steamboat seemed like had a lot of really cool experiences. So if you want to get a hold of me at some point, I'd love to chat with you. Thank you so much. Do you want to count how many cotton balls you have on your face, Matt? Do you want to start pulling them off? Can you even pull them off? Are they glued on forever?
Spreading them out. It's chaos.
Can you even get them off?
No, it's super glued on, Doug.
Do you want me to call an ambulance for you?
Yeah. they didn't fall off. I'm pretty impressed with myself.
Yeah, it's just glued. I bet you some good hot water. That thing's coming right off.
It's actually.
So Matt, are you the insanity clause?
Yeah. I can tell you. I'll give you a little hint. Don't let them go down your drain.
Yeah.
When you wash them off, don't do
It's
that.
AI, Doug. There's no cotton balls involved. It's all fake.
Yeah. So, but thanks, Matt, for your. I called him up. I go, Matt, do you have a Santa Claus hat? He goes. I said, if anybody's got a Santa Claus hat, it'll be you. And he goes, yeah, I've got one up in my attic, but I don't want to go get it. I said, he goes, it's really cold up there. I said, no. Go up there and get it, and then get something and glue it on your face.
Yeah,
you
talked me into it, man.
You did it. Oh my God, I love you, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was fun. This is a great conversation. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry, we had to do something, Stan. It's our Christmas show.
Yeah, thanks.
Well,
Stan.
no, I appreciate you and calling me back and asking me. At least this one, you give me a few days notice.
Yeah, that's true. The last time I called him up like an hour or 2 hours before.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Glad to get you back.
Oh, and
go ahead.
We didn't get to show the Ron clips.
The Ron clips? What?
Yeah, I sent a couple of samples from the audiobook.
Oh, yeah, do it. Do it real quick.
Yeah, it's Christmas break. We have time.
It's our Christmas show. Do it.
Yeah, give me a second here to pull that up.
Just so everyone knows, what you're about to hear is Robo Ron. It's actually Ron Moorhead's voice, but it's text to speech using AI.
Yes.
And
oh boy.
It was a lot of work to get it to sound like Ron.
Okay, so let me explain. This book is coming out in an audiobook. I don't know. I think it'll end up on Hanger One, right, Stan?
Yeah, that's what Ron's
plan.
been leaning towards. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it'll have not only Ron narrating it, but I think a lot of the Sierra sounds will be in the book.
All of the Sierra sounds are
going to be in the book, so it'll be quite a buy.
And I'm actually the announcer narrator.
Okay. Imagine that. And then, and that'll be when do you think that'll be released? February?
Well, I just sent him the first pass of what I consider a final. There are some things that I can nitpick about, but I'm way too close to this project. I could nitpick about this for the next 2 years, and we want to get this out. So I just sent Ron tonight, right before we started this, the first draft of the final. If he listens all the way through and approves it, it'll be coming to you within days.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and play a sample of this book. And this will be, I think, one of the most exciting Bigfoot books ever, because there's a whole new generation that are going to get exposed to this. Go ahead, Jeff. Play a sample.
Something eerie had been stalking our hunting camp without warning and on its own terms, that something would seize the night and jar us with ape-like noises. Those enormous sounds could almost shake the walls of our protected log shelter. But on this particular night, we were outside those questionably protective walls when it started up. Never had this unknown visitor of the night been so out and out bold.
Oh, I can't hear it on my end.
That Bill and I knew we were in for a night of it.
Oh, that was it.
It was really good. You could hear it really good, Stan. Yeah. Sorry. Our audience could hear it, right, everybody? Could you all hear it? And yeah, it just sounds beautiful. And it does sound like Ron.
It does. That's creepy.
Yeah, it does.
So good job, Stan. I know you got to do a lot of manipulation.
The reason it sounds like Ron is because I was wrestling with Robo Ron.
I know.
Yeah.
Robo Ron is capable of saying a sentence so long that if any one of us tried it, we would pass out from lack of oxygen.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember you saying that last time. Like, there's no.
Yeah, no. Bill gets a medal for this one too, because while I was working on it, he was the person who listened to me vent about Robo Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely needs a special prize or award for that one at some point.
Well,
maybe I'll get him a Marion Berry muffin.
When we get the book up, we will get you on and you guys can announce it and make kind of a big deal out of it. We'll get you back.
So I couldn't hear it. Which clip did you play? Was it the one where he gives you what not to do, or the one where he talks about what you're about to hear?
It was the first one.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that.
Yep.
All right. Now, Stan, just stay put. We're gonna do our wisdom of the week, which is really very slanted towards Christmas and gifts and giving. And then we're going to come back and do a wrap. So just hang tight.
Hang tight, everyone. We'll be right back.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. The real meaning of giving at the holidays should remind us that giving isn't measured in boxes or bows, but in the love we share. A simple act of generosity can warm a heart long after the snow melts. When we give, whether it's time, comfort, or kindness, we light a candle in someone else's winter. And in giving, we discover something beautiful. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
And Caillou has some wisdom. He said, do not glue cotton balls to your face with super glue. So that's Caillou's wisdom of the week. See, you can't get it off. It's stuck.
Seems like a good idea.
Somebody said, let's see here, Minxie said she loves the new Sasquatch Holler outro. Great. Thank you very much. And right after our outro video, I think Jeff's going to play some song off this album that I've got coming out. There's actually 3 albums coming out in January. So, but he's going to play just one cut. It's after the outro. So if you want to stick around and hear me make a fool out of myself, go ahead. Other than that, we are going to say goodnight to Stan and Matt and everybody in chat and all our moderators. I want everybody to have like the greatest Christmas ever. And if you have O positive,
are we still going here or no?
Yep.
Yeah, we're still alive.
We're still here.
Oh, I can't hear everybody.
I think Stan's he's got something.
Well, good night, Stan.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right. Anyhow, go ahead and hit the outro, Jeff. Good night.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Bye, everybody.
Call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my 59 Ford. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should start falling, we'll head on home again. Everybody else can see where we belong. Oh, ain't no ordinary love we got going on. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait for the time when we'll be together every day. But I know if ever we'll be led astray, that I'll find my way back home to you again. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait for the time when we'll be together every day. But I know if ever we'll be led astray, then I'll find my way back home to you again.
Take my hand, sit beside your throne. In this kingdom you'll never be alone. Every dream you've carried, girl, I'll make it known. If I was a king, you could be my queen. You could wear my ring, it would have sparkle and bling. We could be kind of a big thing. Our love would never sting, with that crown. You're my favorite kind of wind. So take my hand, sit beside your throne. In this kingdom you'll never be alone. Every dream you carry, girl, I'll make it known. Our love's a hot fire carved in stone. If I'm the crown, you're the gemstones gleam. Together we're stronger than anything. Baby, rule my world, my royal dream. I'm your king, and you're my queen. We'd ride through the night where the wild stars play, laughing in the moonlight like it's always our day. You turn every shadow into sunlit gray, and I guard your heart in every single way. We'd dance in the halls while the world outside sleeps. A love so loyal, even angels weep. Every promise I make is a vow I'll keep. You're the treasure in the castle no thief could ever reach. In a world full of fools, we'll rise above. Turn armor into laughter, battles into love. When storms roll in, we won't shake. Queens don't fall and kings don't break. With your hand in mine, we'll shift the scene. Rewrite the story how it's always been. A throne means nothing without its queen, and you're the brightest soul I've ever seen. So take my hand, sit beside this throne. In this kingdom you'll never be alone. Every dream you've carried, girl, I'll make it known. Our love's a fire carved in stone. If I'm the crown, you're the gemstones gleam. Together we're stronger than anything. Baby, rule my world, my royal dream. I'm your king, and you're my queen. Together we're everything.